Laying, passive. Oh, let's see. Can he wall this off, though? The knights come in. The villagers aren't so important. It's the army. If Viper loses his army, then the players will be on even terms. The castle is denied. Will Viper be able to micro his army and keep these alive? Let's see here. There is the Mangonel. The skirmishers are engaging. The knights are there. The Mangonel fires. Viper has to shoot the Mangonel. He's one-shotting every other unit. Oh, nice Mangonel shot. Lierey's holding this. Liereyy has enough skirmishers to possibly hold this. Possibly. Viper has 95 population. It is 120 for Liereyy. Liereyy has denied the castle. Viper probably can't finish that now. And Viper's losing every single Arbalest. And oh my god, what is up with Liereyy and holes, man? Now the militia from Tato get in. And this is just free damage. This is free damage. Oh, wait. What? What? Okay, micro nerd. Well played, Liereyy. It's...
Doubt is in and now building another outpost. So he knows what's up. And this outpost let him know that Liereyy was coming with villagers. Liereyy gates Doubt in, but Doubt with the counter gate.
Liereyy.
And Liereyy with the quick walls in front of the villager. Doubt deleting the outpost, but Liereyy was ready right on top of the foundation. Now the men-at-arms are in. The villagers for Doubt are gonna die. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Tato. He's got to be careful. Now, many players would not micro uphill, but Liereyy will. Look at this. Look at this micro from Liereyy. He's incredible when it comes to micro. The day, Viper's crossbows are gonna get hey yo,
Yo, bro. Yo, dude.
Oh, got him. Nice, never a doubt. but at the end of the day,
but Liereyy potentially running into the scouts. That's a lot of scouts. And Yo is not fully walled because that's pretty much impossible on this map. Lierey's looking to do a lot of damage right here.
Does he take the fight against the Spearman? He's opting not to. I think that's a good decision overall. Oh, the quick walls from Yo though.
Oh my god!
Can he get the poke?
He can trap them! He's trapped them all, and it's not going to be the end of the world because there's only 3 spears, but that is a fantastic play from Yo.
Yeah, but now he can bring his own scouts home, I believe. Yeah, at least they're still mostly alive, but actually, Yo doesn't have much of an army.
So nice. Well played from Yo. That is definitely a highlight here. Walling in like 9 scouts, and the question is now, does he send his scouts back to deal with them, or does he just mass up a couple spears?
I can guarantee you guys, this game is a lot more fun to watch than to play. I think Viper's in trouble, though. I really do. If that tower goes up...
Well, with all those villagers with full HP now, it's going to be really rough. And he's doing the same thing again, but this time there's so many more villagers here from Mr. Yo. He's going to repair the tower and attack the villagers.
Viper's fills will melt.
They are melting.
They're
Look
melting.
at the vill difference. It's 30 to 24 right now for Mr. Yo.
Is this game over?
30 to 24. I have a feeling Viper only has 3 villagers on food right now. He's got 1 on the forge bushes, 2 on the farms.
Another vill will die.
He can't produce from his TC. He doesn't have enough food to repopulate
and another
his
vill
village.
will die. The villagers keep dying.
This is gonna work. This is Mr. Yo's game, I think.
Yeah.
He's got...
Yo's getting guard tower to deny the resources.
Does Yo not know there's a castle there? Yo still doesn't know there's a Wait. No way! He just used... Dude! He just used the longboats to distract the castle, sent in skirmishers and a single siege rev, and then meanwhile, he's taking a fight here and it's not too bad. Of course,
but
guard
he's got
towers
heated
will
shot
help.
with the guard towers.
Yeah. A heated shot means the towers and castles do more damage.
300%.
Dude, this is a great game.
Isn't it lovely? So many like memories and emotions we were talking about there with the clips. And well, those players really grew on us. And well, now I'm excited for the semifinals. What am I looking at here, Dave? What are the maps?
We are looking at Wings and Acropolis. Once again, the same maps for Liereyy as he picked yesterday. And then for Mr. Yo, we have Kawasan and we have Cross. Golden Swamp is banned for Mr. Yo, and another map is banned for Liereyy. I'm not going to say it. You can say it, Dylan.
AZ. Let's call it AZ. Okay. That's interesting, right? Mr. Yo kind of playing the mixed maps, a bit more on the crazy side. I think Golden Swamp would be in that category there. And Liereyy, well, he stays with what he likes.
Yeah, and do you consider Arabia to be, like you said before, Hera has a home map in Arabia. Do you consider Arabia to be a home map for Liereyy too?
Yeah, kind of, because it's something that he doesn't need to learn. Right? It's not something that he needs to put any preparation into, and he will always feel super comfortable on it.
So here we see the civilization picks, and I'm going to focus on the ban first for Mr. Yo on Liereyy. What is going on there?
Well, he likes Eagle Warriors apparently, right? He instantly jumped on Mayans and Aztecs. Yesterday, we saw Liereyy getting Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas against Tato. And this time, we won't see any Eagles from Liereyy.
And we are going to see the Vikings. I think Zach said that Vikings are going to be banned every single set, but Curse of the Caster, watch them not be banned in any of the sets today.
Okay, some behind-the-scenes trivia here, we have to say, is that Liereyy actually timed out. You have 30 seconds time to pick a civilization, and Liereyy, with his fourth pick, didn't pick in time, and then basically the picking tool just gave him a random civilization, and it ended up being Japanese, which is quite fortunate.
It's a pretty good civ on both Kawasan and Cross. It's a top tier civ. So very, very nice tactical timeout there from Liereyy to get Japanese. It's fortunate for him that there's going to be, even if this goes all 5 games, there's going to be one civ that isn't used. So even if he didn't plan on it, he doesn't have to use that randomized civ pick.
Also, something we clearly want to think about is Mr. Yo picking Saracens, and we did see them played, well, very interestingly. What do you think? Where will Mr. Yo put Saracens on the map?
It's interesting. I think he's going to go with Mayans for Arabia. Could you see Saracens on Kawasan? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good pick. Also, honestly, in Acropolis, yesterday we saw how Liereyy easily defended against Feudal Age aggression. That would be sick for Saracens, right? You can go over to the other side, can break walls that easily. Oh boy, that could be really scary. And guys, the first semifinal of Red Bull WOLOLO will be live any second. We will jump into this series on Arabia. And Liereyy, the Archer God, not going for Vikings as pick number 1 here. He will pick Britons on the other side, as he predicted, Dave. Mayans for Mr. Yo.
Yeah, that's the classic civ for Mr. Yo, and this is kind of a classic matchup here, isn't it? 2 Archer civs matching up against each other, Britons versus Mayans. Who do you prefer here in this matchup?
It's like, obviously, Mayans having the advantage of getting to cheaper archers and having the option to go for eagles feels really lovely, but Liereyy, we have seen him doing so incredible things with Archer Micro there. +1 range in Castle Age will be sick, and faster producing Archer ranges. I think Archer v Archer, I favor Britons, but the eagle switch is something that scares me.
And something to notice, both players, I believe, finding their starting sheep right away. That's something we haven't mentioned yet, but Viper mentioned it, I think, 3 times in his post-game interview yesterday. So obviously, it's very, very important for their early build orders. Britain's obviously getting the faster sheep herding food bonus, so that's good for them. Skirmishers coming forward from Yo right away. I think they're coming forward to try and deny the walls, but Liereyy is going to have the walls up quickly enough before they get there.
Look at that, walling with 4 villagers at the moment. Archer patrols very defensively at home, and Liereyy, he apparently is absolutely fine with playing this game extremely passively.
And his gold is in a super safe spot. His wood lines are okay for the Feudal Age. He can't be ranged by some portions of those. And he's going to wall off the left side of his map probably pretty soon. Or he's just going to keep his army there, I guess.
Well, seems like the latter, and no fletching for him now. He will flirt with Castle Age very early on. Look at that, 400 food, 200 gold already in the bank, and goes for more ostriches.
And Yo just keeping up with the constant production. He's actually housed pretty badly here for about 30 seconds. So maybe not the greatest start for Yo, but he does have pressure at Lierey's base. Can he do any damage during that feudal to castle switch from Liereyy?
He clearly wants to, and Liereyy wants to buy himself some time, going for the stables already, and look at that, now walls with 5 villagers here as well, and he wants to survive this one without any archer losses.
Walls just going down for Liereyy. Yo is going to have to go around the left-hand side of that stable. Liereyy trying to force down the walls here. How many villagers does he have building?
That's so crazy, right? Pulled the top ones,
But Yo denied it.
Squeezes through there, and that's what we mentioned earlier. No fletching on those archers still.
No fletching on the archers. Yo already has the armor and fletching for his skirmishers. And now I can't help but feel like Lierey's getting punished for the greed here. Like, if you're going to wall the front that fast, you might as well wall the side as well.
Villagers at the side now being walled out here as well. And yeah, that scout is doing a reasonable job of defending against those skirmishes.
And Yo doesn't even want to engage against the scout. He just wants to pick off the archers. And look what Lierey's done. Usually you want to wall people out of your base. You don't want to wall them in your base.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful move. Moved out there with the archers, will take the 5v1 there, and scouts are clearing this one up, and still solid resources here by Liereyy.
Yeah, he defended against that very, very well. I was pretty nervous for him because what happens there if you lose your archers, you can't really transition effectively, even if you're faster to the Castle Age. But Yo did cause him to make 3 scouts, and that delayed his Castle Age quite a bit, and Yo might be clicking up at the same time.
Yeah, but like delaying him, your opponent has the better economy and you're clicking up at the same time. Doesn't sound like a victory for Mr. Yo. The 6th thing, look at the KD, Dave.
KD is very good for Liereyy. 9-1. Wow, Yo's going to have to catch up somewhere. You can see Liereyy heading out with those scouts.
And
trying to loop around into Yo's base. Yo just about 20 seconds late with walling that off. Maybe he'll see them. Maybe he'll quick wall it. Probably not.
Really, no. But Liereyy? Yeah, he sees it. Oh god, he's so active with his units. That's just crazy. And Yo, he won't find an option to wall this one off against 3 scouts.
And Yo going for another barracks here. So we're going to see the Eagle spam in the Castle Age. Already getting the armor upgrade.
What? 4 barracks even, Dave. And he sends the villager
4
forward.
barracks.
That's a full Castle Age all-in. 4 barracks and an aggressive siege workshop. Whew. Liereyy needs to
How
hold
many
that.
villagers on gold do you need for that? That's crazy.
Oh, I don't even know the math. I would say something like 16 feels like a right number.
Mm-hmm.
He has 8.
That's close.
Just remember that Eagle produces in 60 seconds there in Feudal Age, but once you reach Castle Age, I think that drops down to 35 or 37 seconds, so production then becomes really fast.
Mm-hmm. So Eagle's obviously really, really good against archers in open areas, so Liereyy has to be careful with these archers he's sending across the map. He is sending them to Yo's gold, though.
And I don't like Yo's walls there. Look at that. The archers will position themselves there, and Yo, he might even need to think about evacuating and go to one of his back golds.
Yeah, why wall to the gold against Britons? He should be walling to that pond. He's gonna arrive at the gold with crossbows. And we said before, Yo needs this gold.
Oh god,
Oh boy,
no reaction.
he hasn't
Dave, no
noticed.
reaction.
What? Yo!
Oh, and how many villagers do you need on gold to produce out of 4 barracks, Dave? It's more than 0, I can tell you that.
What happened there? Did Liereyy like tactically attack him on a different area of the map so Yo didn't hear the notification? It's really, really weird.
Oh, yeah, I was surprised as well. And Liereyy, again, with his signature that you see on the outside. Yesterday, Tato was able to punish that, but Mr. Yo, I don't think he will have the firepower behind this. Only 34 villagers.
Yeah, and watch the micro from Liereyy. He's going to micro down all of these Eagle Warriors. Oh boy, Mr. Yo is in a really rough spot. I think he killed 1 crossbow there, and he lost, what, 6 Eagles?
Looks like it. Look at that. Line of death eagles there here, not pretty. And Mr. Yo indeed moves back on the gold, and well, he opted for the 1TC all-in aggression, and well, I think the game will end there for him, because he either breaks Liereyy within the next minutes, or Lierey's boom advantage will be way too strong.
Yeah, he doesn't realize the TC from Liereyy is there. He's gonna go forward with a house, and now he's gonna pop his mangonel out and be like, oh, hello.
I'll take those.
Still trying to engage against the crossbows too. I think the best option for Yo is to, as bad as it sounds, ignore those crossbows and try and put some serious pressure on Lierey's base. Maybe pull the crossbows back.
Yeah, but how? He only has 1 layer of paper walls here, and I think he might have even overchopped there between the wood and the house.
Yeah, this does not look good. If you're in Yo's position, do you just play this game as long as you can, try and warm up a little bit?
Well, you have to remember it's 8 hours for him behind us, or behind Lierey's time, so I think he had enough time to warm up. 6 hours behind him, I believe.
The crossbows are in now. Do you think Yo can clear this up? I don't think he has a chance.
Oh, no way, no
Lierey's
way.
gonna run through. Oh no.
Yeah, and every single village on the gold could die here. Some eagles trying to do something, some more walls, but, well, you know what? Crossbows can shoot over walls.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to clear up maybe 3 or 4 crossbows, but the micro from Liereyy is just on point here. Well, oh, the second armor upgrade is in for the Eagles. Okay, so they took out more than I thought.
Yeah, but that's not what Mr. Yo needs, right? At the moment, he's holding, and he's already 22 villagers behind.
Yeah, he needs to push, and Liereyy with a great play, sending 1 knight out. He's going to deny any potential mangonels coming out of that siege workshop. Yo bringing the villager back. He's finally cleared up the army in his base, so he's stabilized. But like you said before, 26 villagers behind for Mr. Yo. Mayans can win from being behind in eco, but I don't think this far behind.
Oh, and look at that super sharp move by Liereyy. He thinks, okay, what are the ways how I can potentially lose this game? And it's only that he could be overwhelmed by mass eagles, and that's why he drops the second stable and will keep on producing those knights.
Yeah, when you're ahead in eco and your opponent is obviously going for a 1TC push, going double stable knight basically denies anything that Yo can do to you.
Still lacking some upgrades on those, though. Let's take a look. Eagles might come in. Some lost HP mango shot. Ooh. Scaring it.
Great attack round from Yo, though. Almost picking the mangonel and damaging 2 crossbows as well. Liereyy with the repair villagers right away.
Yeah, he needs to hold this nose, okay. Oh, but that's Liereyy. That's Liereyy for you. Oh god, he's so ballsy. Knows with Britons he has 1 more range, and that's enough to outrange mangonel, and that's why they're so strong and so tough to counter in Castle Age.
And the outpost is doing work for Liereyy. He can see everything that's coming his way. An attack ground for him connects with some of the Eagles. The Knights are now coming in. The Eagles are all weak.
Oh god, and now he needs to retreat. That's never ever great for you. And, well, so low on HP now. The 3 Knights could even chase this down.
Yeah, the Knights... Liereyy opting to keep them near that siege workshop. I think he wants to get rid of that, eliminate the threat. No, he's going forward. He has a huge line of sight with those crossbows, so he knows exactly what Yo is doing up here. He sees that mangonel, and here's the confidence you talked about with Liereyy.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. And, well, the Eagles, they're still grouping up. How does Mr. Yo look behind this? Still only gold, some farmers, some on wood. He is hoping for some miracle shots, but Liereyy is not giving them to him.
Well, he's only 40 villagers behind, so great attack ground from Liereyy.
Oh, and this could be the final dive. Second mangonel pops. Let's take a look. Takes that one out, and now the Eagles need to finish the game, but they can't.
What an amazing fight there from Liereyy. He was He was attack grounding the Eagles as they came in. He was targeting the Mangonels with his knight. He was microing his crossbows all at the same time, garrisoning his villagers, targeting with the TC. Everything was going right for him. So much confidence. And Yo just... That is not the game he wanted to start this series out with.
Yeah, sometimes I'm curious if Liereyy has a second mouse and trying to get all those clicks in there. That looked like incredible. How he sniped down both of those Mangonels at the same time.
Like, you could tell he was controlling every single unit, and there was like 3 or 4 different groups that he needed to control there. It's just amazing what he can do with the game. What do you think Mr. Yo is thinking after this first loss here?
I think, okay, maybe I need to wall a bit differently. I need to, that's like one mistake that's unlikely to happen again. So I think that's something that you can shake off quite easily. He still has 4 games to go, quote unquote, only needs to win 3 out of 4 of his chances.
Yeah, it's so weird that he walled to the gold when there was a wood line right there.
Yeah, well, it's like he used the auto scout to try to see, okay, where can I do pressure with my eagle and scout? Yeah, it is the better wall to go for the front there, but like with his late reaction and the crossbow shooting over there, I think he still would have lost like 4 villagers.
So the KD, pretty good for Liereyy, I'd say. Not good at all for Mr. Yo. And the economy, obviously, much, much better for Liereyy as well.
Yeah, that's why we saw the wild play there for Mr. Yo. He knew, okay, I can't win this game if we go to distance. Liereyy would reach him so much quicker with the better economy, better tech units, and would just overwhelm him. And that's why Mr. Yo felt like pressured into forcing Liereyy to some screw up, but Liereyy too sharp.
So this is a best of 5. Liereyy only needs to win 2 more games. Yo put himself in a really, really bad position here. What home map do you think Yo goes with as game number 2?
Yes, Kavasan and Cross. I think, well, we still have Japanese for Liereyy, fortunately enough. I think he will simply go for Cross. It was his first... No, it was his second choice. So Kavasan was his first choice. I will just assume that's his play. Probably with Franks.
You can't see the Saracens coming into play with Kawasan?
I wouldn't be surprised. But where do you put Franks then? Do you play them on Acropolis? I feel like Khmer might be better there.
You could play... Theoretically, you could play Franks on wings as well. If you look at the civs that Yo has, does he have any strong civs on wings? Well, maybe Saracens are strong on wings.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Maybe Huns could be strong on wings, Persians. Yeah, I feel like Franks aren't as good on the other maps. That's why I feel like he has to go with them for Kavasan. Short game number 1 here. One single mistake, not really protecting the gold too well. And if we get to Kavasan, the other option on Lierey's side, well, he still has Vikings, but I think Vikings are something for a non-water map.
Well, we saw Viper go with Vikings on Acropolis yesterday and do very, very well there.
Yeah, but that was also because he was scared of the Goth. Right? And also a lot of mind games, like he was expecting me to pick them on Golden Pit, and then I picked Persians to counter that strategy. So, yeah, I think that was more the doubt Viper mind game than the actual strength of the civilization.
So if it is Kawasan, what does Liereyy go with? Does he go with
I think Japanese.
Japanese?
Yeah.
The randomized pick?
I think that sounds very reasonable to me. And, well, yeah, Vikings can't really contest the pawns without fire galleys there. Not the greatest choice. I think Vikings, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them on wings.
So we're waiting for the game to start, guys. We will get a notification soon that the players are in. No need to 14 because I see the game up and we're going to go right into it.
Okay, let's take a look. And oh, Liereyy is playing Kelt here against Mr. Yo's Franks.
So you were right with Mr. Yo's Civ pick. He did go with the Franks. What's so good about the Franks on this map?
Well, you all know foragers work 25% faster, and you feel like, okay, is that really that efficient for those 6 berry bushes? And then I have a surprise for you. In the center, we have way more of them, and that's why we can see Mr. Yo instantly sending 5 villagers to the front and abuse that bonus to the maximum.
And Liereyy already going for the wall-offs. He's actually had a villager idle this entire time. That's very strange for Liereyy. Usually he's pretty clean with idols. Obviously, when you start with this much population, it's not as big of a deal as a standard start.
Yeah, and
Yo going with a forward stable.
And you're not really in the rhythm of like pressing either villagers after like 1.5 minutes into the game, right? It's more something that you want to get into, like Feudal Age, Castle Age.
So Yo is going with a stable at the front. He's already taking the berries with the Franks. Leary's going to see this with his spearmen, and he's going to see that archer range. Does he spot the stable, though?
He sees both. Yeah, nice awareness there for Mr. Liereyy for sure. And he will know, okay, army won't look too great. Instantly sends the archer out, though. That's a bit surprising to me. Wants to really put on the pressure.
Yeah, you want to keep those archer numbers up, though, for Liereyy. If he trickles in units and loses them, that's not good for him at all. But I guess this is probably twofold. He wants to put pressure on Yo's berry villagers. He also wants to keep Yo there so that he can wall off at home.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. And but Mr. Yo, not really the guy who stays at home too much here.
This is a really interesting strategy from Yo. It looks like he's going to tower the middle, he's going to secure all those berries, and he's going to eat them all himself.
What? That feels so weird. Doesn't he have enough control anyways with his scouts and archers here that he feels that he needs to tower this one up? That's really surprising. Maybe he will take the MBL approach. Just get massive control of the center and control the game from there.
Yeah, he's getting fletching now, producing skirmishers. Those berries for the Franks? It's so nice if you don't have to make farms, right? You can put that wood into other things.
Yeah. That's also something we saw from the Max, for example. You get in the Tattoo series there, just abusing the center resources to perfection. Both players ignoring the water is what I wanted to say, and then saw that Liereyy is going for the left-hand side one.
Yeah, Yo badly housed again. We saw it in game 1. See it again here. Not great for him, but he is producing military for multiple buildings, so I can see how that would happen. Liereyy going for that dock.
But where is he building a house?
Yeah, he was at the back.
Yeah, now he's building another one. Okay, Yo instantly scouts the dock there. Could be pretty nice for him. Might even snag that villager. Easy spot for a wall off, but Liereyy actually fights this one off. Can he save her? Not for now. It tries the other way around, but the scout is still blocking it. And Liereyy 10 HP. But Skirm should be around, no? Nice save for now.
Yeah, that was a great save from Liereyy, and he can do that in his sleep. But the skirms, like you said, the skirms are coming. The scout is still tracking the villager. Is she going to wall her way back to the base? I don't think it's possible.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either. That was a funny move. And, yeah, showed his capabilities here. But, well, she can never save her. He can never save her.
So there's the first villager pick of the game. Yo is still behind by 1.
And look at that reverse KD now. 7-1 was our start in the Arabia game. Now it's 6-1 in favor of our Chinese player.
Yeah, and let's see how close Liereyy is to clicking up. He's pretty close, but Yo's resources are looking really good for all the units he's produced so far. The berries are helping him a lot.
And, well, how much does he have on berries? I can see 5. That's 8 villagers on the berries here, and that's just so fast. And that's also only the ones in the center. He still has 4 in the back as well. 12 foragers at the moment. That's crazy.
Yeah, Leary's up a little bit faster, but I feel like Yo has the advantage here. He's put all the pressure on Liereyy. He's got the map control, and he's got a dock down. Liereyy with the fire ship scouting that out early.
And Mr. Yo, he's trying to find another dock at the right-hand side. Scouts around the whole area. Can't find it and will very easily grab that one at the top.
So how do you see this playing out in Castle Age? Celts versus Franks.
It's kind of weird, right? Celts, they don't really have the most mobile army. Would love to see mass spearmen into pikemen and probably a siege workshop slowly trying to contest the center, but Mr. Yo with the hill advantage, I don't think he will give it up.
Yeah, especially with that that tower there. You can tell he really, really wants to keep control of that. Putting pressure on the right side of Lierey's base. Liereyy forced to put some palisade walls. I think he'll be fine here with just the skirmishers, but Yo is being super, super annoying.
And something indirectly nice for Mr. Yo is, since he built the tower, he did send villagers onto stone, and not too few, now goes for 7. He will put a castle in the center as well. He might go axemen, and axemen are solid against pikemen pushes.
Axemen are really, really good against most things that Celts can make, especially if you supplement them with maybe some siege of your own to deal with potential siege from Celts. And Frank castles are pretty cheap, so Yo can get this down pretty early.
Indeed, the siege workshop is being dropped. Liereyy again, some other villagers here. Fixes those now, drops 1 TC at the top. Is Mr. Yo going for any TCs? I wouldn't be surprised if he even drops one in the center of the map.
Yeah, around those berries would be very, very nice. I can see a spot right there.
Yeah.
where
I
you
can see the same spot, Dave.
Oh, I'm just envisioning it right now. It's perfect.
But he has 6 wood, so that's going to take some time.
One thing to consider here, if Yo drops a castle on the stone from Liereyy, the only other stone from Liereyy is on that right-hand side, which is pretty far away from his base.
Okay.
So maybe he could deny that from him, deny the potential of a castle coming up from Liereyy when he's in Imperial Age.
Well, could be an option. The question is, yeah, maybe traps could be really important, because once Yo gets onto, like, I would even say, like, 2 bombard cannon, 5 axemen, I don't really see a Celt player ever breaking that with a castle.
Yeah, unless you have a gigantic eco behind it, it's going to be really, really tough. Yo actually winning the water battle too.
And sees the pikeman tech as well, so he knows that something might be coming up at the front. And Yo goes for a good TC, but
Not the TC we wanted, though.
not the Craigasm TC. Yeah.
I guess that's the safer option, right? Especially if the Celt player is coming out with some siege like Liereyy is doing right now. 2 mangonels. Yo's going to spot that with the tower. It's going to spot the pikeman. What does he have to counter this? Potential of a castle going down in the middle, but this is risky. Yo has to delay this army.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Look at that, the loop around here. And Celt Mangonel, they don't only eat TC, they also eat some tower apparently. And, well, suiciding everything, but keeps the tower alive there. Was it worth it?
I think it's worth it. He delayed to get the castle down. He delayed to get the TC up. And he's now getting a monastery in the middle too. Once you have a castle down, it becomes really, really tough for a Celt player to push you in Castle Age.
Yeah, I would say close to impossible. Like 3 axemen would be so good. He only needs to avoid some major mangonel shots. But the story behind this is only 2 TCs for Mr. Yo. 3 TCs ticking for quite some time for Liereyy.
Well, the 3rd TC is now going down for Mr. Yo on the right-hand side. I think what he needs to do, since he's solidified the middle here, maybe start thinking about walling off his eco. So there's no possibility of Liereyy looping around, harassing him at home.
Yeah, I think the army is so slow and mangonels have so much power. I think that just like building an outpost in both directions would be like really solid as well. It's way cheaper and you see it coming anyways.
Well, he's opting for the stone walls. You can see him coming down from Mr. Yo. Big stone walls on the left-hand side as Liereyy tries to loop around. Like you said, this army is so slow.
Defensive siege
And nice
workshop.
walls from Mr. Yo.
Yeah, buys himself a lot of time. Could have even pulled some more villagers if you ask me. And yeah, Liereyy, he will still get in there, I believe. Siege Workshop should finish in time, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, it's super important Yo got that workshop finish. Now Liereyy has to respect the fact that a mangonel might come out of there. And he doesn't want to push on that side now. Now he's going to have to, crawl his way around the other side. And Mr. Yo is quick walling.
Doesn't really matter.
It won't
though.
do much good against the mangonels, but...
Yeah. 50 HP here. Didn't really stall too much time. But Axeman now coming for the defense. And I think, like, as I said, 3 Axemen, 1 mangonel should be really good as a defense here.
Yeah, and the mangonel is out now. The axeman can deal with those pikemen pretty easily. It's just all about attack grounds here for Liereyy. If he gets a good one, then Yo's in a bad position. If Yo doesn't get hit, then he's got really, really solid defense here.
Oh, I love how he's standing in the skirmisher to suicide there. Gets a good trade-off, and that was perfect for Mr. Yo. Trades off two skirms against the Mangonel. Now the ground attack dance here. Axeman doing so much damage against Mangonels as well.
Yeah, but not if they get nuked by a Mangonel shot, which they just did. Took a lot of damage. Yo trying to attack ground the Mangonel from Liereyy. Liereyy keeping his alive, but he's effectively stalled out this push, and he's trying to wall behind him, actually.
Well, that's good. Day number 7. They didn't notice me yet. But, well, day number 8.
I'm all alone in the wilderness. Attack ground comes in from Yo, just misses the pikeman, but Liereyy just missing Yo's Mangonel as well.
And we see the double kill. Oh, those
look at
villagers
those
are really
villagers.
low. Really low.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh,
Two
no.
villagers, 2 HP.
Okay, still alive.
Look at the middle, though. Yo already with 3 relics. He's going to collect those other 2.
And look at that, he's thinking about imping any second. And as I said, once you get chemistry, bombard cannons, how can Liereyy break him? Second castle being dropped here as well. I really love your position.
And Lierey's on that stone trying to get a castle of his own. He's going to go up soon. This looks really, really solid for Mr. Yo. This is a great map position to be in.
Absolutely. KD relatively low in this game. Think about like 19-minute game, KD 19, 19, 18, 18 here. Horse still running around, gets a good intel that Liereyy isn't going aggressively there. Mr. Yo fully walled. He has to love his position.
Picking up that relic. He's going to have 5. Wow. The gold income for him is going to be so, so nice.
Yeah, that's so for free, right? And he still has 2, even 3 gold spots in the back there as well. He doesn't need to care about that at all game long.
Liereyy with the castle on the right-hand side. So he doesn't want to... I kind of like that because there's no real area on the front that's going to be safe. I feel like if you put a castle there, it's just going to get immediately trebbed down. You're giving Yo a target to hit. But if you put the castle in the back, then you can start building up your treb numbers and maybe think about pushing out.
But how? How many traps do you need? It's like...
Is this one of these instances where Liereyy starts thinking about score?
No. It's like he will just lose to the center if he wants to defend this one. Like, bombard cannons will be so good. Don't you think, like, Liereyy should build a side base and pressure? Because the front can never be broken. Think about how Tato played it on Golden Swarm, for example, with Celts.
Yeah, you can't push up this hill against cheap Frank castles, against Mr. Yo's gold income from the relics, and against Axeman. So maybe you want to push out to the right-hand side.
I think that would have been a lovely move, and not a lot of vision there for Mr. Yo. Loops around with his Axeman. Well, underwhelming upgrades so far with 1-1. Let's take a look. What does he focus on first? I wouldn't be surprised if it's chemistry.
Yeah, we can see chemistry coming in right now. Trebs coming out of one castle, conscription out of the other. And like you said, bombard cannons probably on their way as soon as chemistry completes.
Yeah, and he has 2 siege workshops there as well. Axemen, they don't even need to fight, right? It's just, oh god, but they don't need to fight, but apparently they want to. Losing 1 friend.
That's so many Mangonels from Liereyy there. Does he get... Are we going to see Siege Onager?
Well, he will certainly attack to Onager, right? He has the resources pretty soon. Just needs some more gold. He's sitting at 500 there. Some Mangonel dance. Oh, Liereyy, very active there. Love that.
So with that Treb, that's going to give Yo a lot of vision. He can see all of the Mangonels. He can see that Lierey's stone is almost up there. So does he start hitting the stone on the other sides? He can also see a second castle from Liereyy going up on the right-hand side.
That's so much good vision all of a sudden. And one archer over there sees everything. The auto scout horse in the back there as well gives him a good input that Liereyy is heavily on farms.
And he knows Liereyy is heavily creating woads as well. Lots of woad raiders on the field. Trebuchet coming out on that side. So this is what you were talking about. Liereyy pushing out in the sides just because he can't force his way through the middle.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. But I would have loved it like a hidden base. Like, remember the MBL versus Hera. Hera just snuck through, built some stables, put on some pressure, and that's how you give yourself a chance to ever break the center, because that's just like...
this castle. This castle from Yo is so good, and he's going to have the Trebs out of range. Liereyy will have onagers, so maybe he can make a push to kill these Trebs, but I think that castle from Liereyy is going to go down immediately.
Yeah, and you did praise castle number 1, because it was so defensively and did allow him to go for production. But now we have to criticize castle number 2, because that's so open, right? No masonry, no upgrades there. Now the trap tennis starts to go wild, though. Let's take a look if Liereyy can somehow hold this castle.
You know, Liereyy is getting onagers, so he can cut those trees and maybe open it up a bit. Charge in, try and get these Trebs.
One bombard cannon out. Axeman really don't want to take this fight. This looks like...
Onagers are scary.
One trap left. Castle still alive. He's holding this one.
He is holding somehow the onager tech coming in clutch, and Yo not repairing his Trebs either. Losing that first one for free, and now this one's going to try and get away.
Well, how would that job application look like? Like, yeah, we're searching for villagers, repairing 3 traps while 8 onagers are shooting you.
Sign me up.
Well, I'm not surprised that he didn't send any villagers there. Now even goes for siege engineers here. One more range against the onagers. Oh god, that will be a lot of dancing.
Yeah, bombard cannons, really not the unit you want to fight against if you have onagers in the field. I love how Yo kind of shifted focus to the other side of his castle. He's still not repairing that, though. I don't think he really needs to, as Franks. He sent the villagers too late, but
Yes,
as long as he gets the castle from Liereyy here, he'll be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main goal. If he trades 1 for 1, that's still a lot of stone gained. He still has 2 castles for production. Oh, the dance with bombard cannon against onagers still continues, though.
Yeah, and another third castle going down from Yo on that middle area. All the berries are about to be gone, so the benefit of having that middle is dwindling here.
Yeah, but he's sitting on the solid 22 farmers behind this, so eco won't be that bad. As Otech, not too far away, only needs 500 more food.
That onager has 2 HP. It is flirting with death right now.
Okay, and bombard cannon might not finish it. Maybe some ground attack could have been an option there. Halberdier is obviously doing absolutely nothing in this game. Votes, not elite, but elite is taking.
He's getting it.
Okay.
He's getting it right now, and the axemen are elite for Mr. Yo, and he's getting blast furnace. I'd love to see bearded axe come in here too for the extra range. That would help in these engagements.
And also, Botkin. Right? Because it's not unlikely that the votes will at some point commit under the 3 castles there, but oh, look at that. Yo has different plans. Tech switch into Cavalier.
And he can do it because he has the relics, right? He has that gold income. He can make the expensive army compositions, and I love how he's kind of hiding it from Liereyy, right? Putting them far enough back. So Liereyy doesn't know what Yo is going to tech into.
And he has enough resources to instantly click Paladins. And with Chivalry, he researches that close to instantly.
3 more stables going on the left-hand side. Another castle. Yo is just securing his position. Still trying to kill those onagers. Liereyy has done a really good job not losing them.
Ooh, opens himself up there. Oh, Axeman running away as well. Still not as... Yeah, it's incredible how he's not losing those onagers.
Yeah, and he's taking just excellent fights here. Yo gonna lose that castle on the front. Still hasn't lost an onager to the bombard cannons.
Uh-oh. Castle's going down. Let's take a look. This fight is coming in before we have all the Paladin numbers here. Axeman, oh god, half of the army instantly dead.
What a great shot there from Liereyy, killing the axeman. That's so important. It's really hard for him to fight against those. And finally losing an onager, losing a second onager.
4 traps behind this. This is the timing for Liereyy here. Was the tech switch maybe a bit too late here? Or maybe a bit too early? Was he not stable? 150 pop against 200. Liereyy puts more siege
Paladin's almost in. Paladin is almost in. This is so tense for Mr. Yo. This is a matter of seconds here. He needs to hold until his stables start working.
Bombard cannon now doing a good job. Onagers leapfrogging forward there. Most of the votes are dying. Halberdier is dying at the left-hand side. Liereyy, is he running out of infantry to protect his siege?
I don't think this is sustainable for Liereyy. Like, Yo is repairing that castle. Suddenly, Yo is pushing back. He's got the Paladin numbers. He's still got Axeman on the field. He's going after those Trebs.
Ooh, castle at 300 HP. Trap is going down, and the castle is going
onagers.
down as well.
No onagers on the field. The Paladins are getting wiped up, but Yo still with those relics. Yo just replaces that castle with another cheap Frank castle, and the Axemen are going to wipe up this army. I think Yo has weathered the storm here.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness.
It was,
oh, wow.
He was lacking some halberdiers. They did go too aggressively at the left-hand side, I believe. If he had the 15 halberdiers that he lost there next to his traps, that would have protected them so much better. Arson now for Mr. Yo as well behind this, and that's what we said. Franks, they can get to an incredible army.
Yeah, the Axeman Paladin combo is just so good. And look, usually the concern with going Axeman Paladin is that you don't have enough gold. Excellent micro from Mr. Yo, getting that first onager. Not so great getting hit by the shot by the second one, but like I was saying, usually you don't want to tech into it because it costs so much gold. Yo has 5 relics.
Yeah, and also we kind of skipped any, like, Castle Age armies, right? So that's extra gold for you as well, while the Onager takes the 4 X-Men down there. And we still have massive amount of gold in the back here for Mr. Yo. Look at that, he's not even fully going for it.
Dude, what do we say about Mr. Yo? His late game is so scary, right? And we're getting to that point where he's solidified the middle, he's solidified his eco, he's getting everything cleaned up, and he's got all his techs. So now, if you're in Lierey's position, you have to be very, very worried about what is to come.
Bearded Axe now, the upgrade that we wanted to see earlier. Lots of resources in the bank for Liereyy, and he's indeed taking 4 SO. Hallelujah. A unit that we don't see too often, especially in 1v1s.
This game has been crazy. The unit compositions here, that push from Liereyy into the middle. I thought after Liereyy lost that push, that was basically game over. I thought that was everything that he had, but apparently not. Still got gas left in the tank, and Yo is kind of taking his foot off the pedal to continue with the car puns here. Car references.
Okay. Good that it took over while I was closing my email program. And okay, nice split here. And no Paladins going down. Okay, we have the timer now at 37 minutes, so still 21 more minutes of Age of Empires in this game if Liereyy desires to play that long. Mr. Yo, he's completely happy with camping this area. Still 5 relics ticking for him.
He's actually gone into extra monks to heal his units. I don't think Franks do not get redemption, do they?
I don't think so. Pretty sure they don't.
So he can't convert the siege onagers unless I'm wrong here. I'm going to check the tech tree. They do not get redemption. So the monks are purely to heal.
Yeah, for a Celtica now, for Liereyy. Get some more HP on those rams. And Liereyy, he's just grouping up, right? Shouldn't go for more villages. I think he should even consider, like, going for pop 200. Bank up some resources. Delete like 50-60 villagers. Go for 110 army and then do 1 push through the center. I think that's way better than trying to make something happen with 60 army.
I like his halberdiers dancing in his base too. It's very satisfying. Yeah. I would attack around that with my SO. You can boost your own score. You can get kills for yourself.
Okay. Got boring after a while. Okay.
Yeah, Yo is content to sit in this position, I think. But Lierey's catching up on score here with this amazing army composition. Look, he just got Siege Ram. He's garrisoning units in the Rams. He's got so many Trebs. He's got SO behind this.
So he's lacking some outposts here. Look at that. The Monk now suiciding himself to try to get some vision of that army. Sees Rams, sees Halberdiers, and goes back.
It's funny, Lierey's coming out right as the Monk is going back, so Yo has no idea these SO are coming this way.
Oh. Where are the bombard cannons? 1 at the left-hand side. I would love to see like 4 or 5 in the center, just constantly poking.
Even fortified wall tech in from Liereyy here. As the bombard cannon is being very annoying on that left-hand side.
That Liereyy triple layer or double layer fortified walls.
Oh god, he's run out of wood at the top. Oh god, Liereyy. Where does Liereyy safely take wood now?
Well, maybe at the front here. Yo isn't eager to raid, but yeah, that's quite some idle villagers. 57 at the moment.
Yo losing a bomber cannon for free against the Woad Raiders, but like Liereyy only has one safe wood line. Safe, I say. Kind of safe wood line. And he's only got 68 wood, 28 wood in the bank.
Oh god. I didn't press the
Here
idle
comes
villager.
the push.
59 idle villagers behind this, so he's basically only playing with pop 140 at the moment.
Oh, here comes the push. Liereyy is so dangerous with military. How can he use this effectively? All the infantry garrison in the Rams. The axemen are there. The paladins are there. The siege onagers are there.
Oh, SO connection's
Oh
not
my
really
God.
here yet. Paladin's only taking the fight at the front. No, not anyone going back here, and he's completely getting slaughtered.
Oh, the halberdiers, they just can't stand up to Frank Paladin. That siege onagers are trying to get good shots. The Rams are trying to cover for them. The Trebs have unpacked and are dying like crazy. Wow, what a wipe from Yo. Just a massacre. Oh my god.
He finished this game still with pop 180. He barely lost anything.
How many did he lose? Like 5 units in that fight? Oh my god, dude.
I felt a bit like Braveheart. Like there's O in the back, like, attack. But aren't we hitting our own troops? Yes, but we also hit the paladins. So many halberdiers died there to all the SO shots in the back.
Yeah, we'll have to see the discrepancy in KD here. Because Liereyy says he's killed 129, but Yo has only lost 122, so they didn't kill that many of their own units.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing game there.
Oh,
that
yeah.
final push. I think we were hyping up that final push more than it needed to be because it looked pretty easy for Yo to clear that up.
And that's what I said, right? That's a push that doesn't work. On multiple ways. Like, you need to attack from the sides. You need to go for like 110 army there instead of like the 70 army that you went for.
Yeah, but Liereyy had to make that push. Like I said, he was out of safe wood lines to take. He was out of wood. He was running out of gold. He just didn't have many other options than trying to win the fight there in the middle.
Yeah. Whew. Well, that was an intense game for sure. And we will take a look at the statistics in detail. 188, 122. So yeah, 7 kills of the SO only, but certainly a lot of damage done.
Yeah, and look at that gold collected for Mr. Yo.
Crazy.
4,000 more, and you can tell he put that just into that endgame army, and I think he still had gold remaining at the back of his base. Like,
I think so as well. Yeah, he wasn't fully going for it. He knew, okay, that's really nice for me to camp out. Had all the, look at that, 4k gold out of the relics as well. 6 castles even. Whew.
So, 1-1. We're going on to Lierey's home map.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Lierey's feeling after that interesting engagement?
Well, like, Liereyy hates people that stonewall and make games slow. And he was the guy forced into double stonewalled fortified. I'm not sure if he is happy how this last game was played out.
Yep. He's probably he's looking in a mirror right now. He's like, what have I become?
Yeah. I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah, he lived long enough to become the villain.
Okay, so Lierey's home map, Acropolis and Wings. Well, I'm assuming Vikings should be the safe choice there for Wings. Or is it Japanese and then he plays Acropolis Vikings?
Can you get away with walling off and booming on Wings, though? Or do you just use that wheelbarrow to propel your early game army with Vikings?
Viper got away with it.
On Wings?
On Wings, no. On Wings, you need to play super aggressively, I believe. But still, Vikings has a strong economy, even if you play for with a lot of army, right? Schedule of today, we will obviously finish this best of 5, Liereyy against Mr. Yo. After that, it will be T90 and me, the Viper, against Hera. That's going to be a banger of a series, kind of the repeating series of 2020, and then the finals with your beloved T90 and Dave.
Okay. Liereyy, what are you going to pick here? We're waiting for the notification from Robo that the game is going to start. Don't spam 14 in the chat because it doesn't work, obviously.
Oh, Dave, you know what you just started.
I know. I did it deliberately.
Oh, God, you're
Let's
so
get some
bad.
energy
You're
in
so,
here.
You're so bad.
Here it comes.
Dave, you're enjoying this so much. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm just waiting for a video. What is 14? Maybe someone could do a YouTube video for that. Players are about to start is what Robo is telling us, and then, well, we will see Liereyy's first home map in the semifinals today. Between the second semifinal and the final, we will take roughly half an hour of a break so that either Viper or Hera will get a good rest and they can perform in the best of 7 finals to their full potential.
Guys, it's not working.
It's not working. Maybe you should spam some T90 Dave.
Nah.
Maybe T90
Oh,
Dave.
here we go. It worked. It worked. The game is up.
I don't see T90 Daves yet. No, it didn't work. Didn't work. It only works if I see the spam.
The game is now up, and we are going on to Liereyy's home map, and it looks like the map is going to be...
Stop spamming your IQ. Okay, Larry is playing Vikings, considered to be the strongest civilization that we have at the moment. Free wheelbarrow means all your villagers are so much stronger or so much more efficient. On the other side, we see Mr. Yo picking Khmer, one of his earliest picks.
Khmer is a very strong civilization. Obviously, we're playing on the older patch, so the farmers have not yet been nerfed. Farms are very, very fast. Does that compensate somewhat for the Vikings
maybe
eco
let's take a look at the
bonus?
mining camp here. And I'm waiting for a message from Mr. Robo if this is going to be a played game or not.
That's so efficient, though.
That's
he can
so
drop
efficient.
off from anywhere.
But I'm not really sure if that... I will wait for an admin there to tell us if we play this game or not. I think Yo will like this, but that's not really intended for this map.
Dude, look, he's dropping it off from the other side of that gold. It's not that big of a difference. As Liereyy walls in the scout from Yo, that's why you don't go idle.
Oh yeah, maybe he was looking. Oh, and the horse is like kicking.
Trying to move.
Yeah, 2019 we have Khmer farmers. 2020 we have Khmer miners.
Yeah, Liereyy finding with his horse as well.
Okay.
He's finding 4 sheep immediately from Mr. Yo, and he's bringing them back to his base. So that's nice for him.
Okay, admin decision behind this. This map will be played.
Yeah, it somewhat affects it, but it's not really a huge thing like having your gold completely in a wood line or something like that. So we are going to keep playing here.
Yeah, it's the same amount of spots as well. Okay. Like, Mr. Liereyy is really efficient there on his gold as well.
Yep.
Okay, resources.
So, Mr. Yo going for the market right away and going for an archery range. He is looking pretty good to click up soon, but Liereyy with the Vikings will probably get there before him.
Well, looks like it. But, well, he could maybe buy 300 food or something like that. Has a lot of villagers on gold. Probably only goes for the skirm defense, and this will be a very passive game.
Yeah, both players not putting any early aggression down whatsoever, just building up for their eventual Castle Age compositions. I think, has Yo even made a unit yet, though?
Nope, he does not. And did he collect the second sheep yet? No, he did not. Only now goes for it. And clicks up to Castle Age, will be 21 seconds behind, and 3 villagers behind as well.
Yeah, second range coming down from Liereyy, too, so pretty predictable here, going for crossbows. Khmer, what do you expect out of the archer range for Mr. Yo? Is it just skirmishers for him?
It has to be full skirmishers, and then adding some knights. He's now dropping a stable as well. Maybe Is this mind games? This is mind games.
Keep one garrison in there, so when Leary comes forward, he thinks there's more, and then hide the stables behind.
Indeed. Look at that. He didn't even go for fletching or the defense upgrade here. So that's going to be mass stables. Ooh.
And Leary did see that archer range, too. So Leary has to be like, oh, he's going into skirmishers. Okay. I haven't seen any stables.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's up against. But he isn't up against that. Oh, okay. That could catch him off guard. The question is, though, like, how good are the mass knights going to be? Or do we even see elephants? Is that an option?
I think elephants are just too slow, right?
Well, it's Khmer. They're a bit faster with them, but yeah, still, it's easier to disengage for sure. Mr. Yo drops some more farms. Actually, he's still open at the left-hand side. I'm a bit surprised there, how he kept that open.
It's a weird hole. I expected him to plug that earlier, and Leary actually going for a stable as well. So maybe Leary is thinking, oh, Yo's going into skirmishers. I need a knight to counter the skirmishers. Yo is not going into skirmishers. Yo is going full knights here. And will Leary see this with these archers if he comes close enough?
Well, he will attack in that direction. By the way, beautiful woodline with extra gold in the back here if Mr. Yo wanted to go for that. And didn't even scout it, though. Oh, that's not too pretty. And now the knights, not a single loss so far.
Yeah, Leary sees one stable. He doesn't see that second one. He also sees the skirmisher for Mr. Yo, but no upgrades on that. So that's going to give him a lot of information.
I think this will be very tough for Mr. Yo. Goes for the +1 attack, only now for the +2 defense. But the numbers won't be there. That will be like 4 knights, and that will be heavy investment against Leary.
Yeah, fortunately for him, it's pretty tough for Leary to push in through this side. I think if Leary went to the left side earlier and pressured that gold, it would be way worse for Yo.
He sees the mining camp now.
Yo with a second TC at the back on the stone still hasn't migrated out to the woodlines in the middle. And he's just building his knight numbers. He's waiting for enough to engage against these crossbows. Probably needs +2, which is coming in right now.
Something I ask myself now, can Mr. Yo send those villagers back on the mining camp? Or are you clicking on your... Like, can you click on the gold mine?
I think
Send them back to work?
if he presses go back to work, it'll work.
But he built the house. So go back to work is building the house. Meanwhile, we see the first engagement here. Now going in, Mr. Yo should win this engagement. Numbers are looking solid now. Crossbows trying to take the hill advantage. They will lose everyone.
Yeah, even Leary's micro isn't going to save him from this one. He might be able to actually snipe villagers. Look at Yo walling behind the crossbows, trying to prevent them from getting into these choke points.
And isn't losing a single villager there. Now it's knights without any upgrades, trading off against bloodlines +1, +2. This one went way better for Mr. Yo than what I expected.
Yeah, and Leary had more units coming across the map, but he's going to have to send them back. He's going to have to build his numbers, and all of a sudden, the pressure is off of Yo's base, and where can he put pressure on Leary's base is the question coming forward with those knights.
And Zach in the pre-show did ask me, like, how do you like the army composition of Vikings in the long run? Well, if we get to the super crazy all-around Pop 200 game, Vikings are lacking mobility for sure, right?
And they're lacking options to deal with things like scorpions from Khmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hurt Vikings a lot, but we got to get there first as the knights from Mr. Yo come in to the right-hand side of Leary's base. I don't think there's an opening there.
Well, he will try to create one, but Leary is around with his crossbows. Villager, only 3 lead for Leary at the moment, and that's with a wheelbarrow for Mr. Yo as well, so 3 villagers plus handcard advantage at the moment.
Yo losing a knight, but that was the super low HP one. Just kind of distracting this army from Leary. I think if Yo booms behind this and just... Oh, never mind. Forward Siege Workshop from Yo.
You don't know this guy. Yeah, he saw... Did he see the gold exposed at the front? Yes, he did. And the archer rangers. So he feels like, okay, scorpions or mangonels could do a lot here. What do you think? What should he go for?
I think mangonels early and then maybe scorpions to follow it up because you need something to punch through the buildings, right? At the front. It's also... I think it's also important to note that Lierey's only safe wood line, now that Yo is in that middle position, is up there at the top.
Oh. And if that one's dry, there's nothing at the top in the map.
There's nothing. There's
Oh, God.
absolutely nothing up there. And Yo, with this position, with the outpost, with the siege workshop in the middle, another outpost coming down there, Lierey's really going to struggle to safely go out to that wood line in the middle.
Yeah, and Yo sees that. He knows exactly, okay, those are 3 relics. There's only one small wood line. That will be
He
a
sees the
very
whole
important
map.
area. Yeah. He didn't scout the right-hand side, but there's nothing at the right-hand to scout even.
Very, very tough spot for Liereyy here. Yo has opted for 2 scorpions and a battering ram. I like the ram addition. He hasn't really seen any melee from Liereyy other than unupgraded knights.
Well, and melee wouldn't do too great against Scorpions and all the knights in front of it. 15 knights now. Army value, way better for Mr. Yo here. 700 the advantage. Do you go for the Palisade Gate or do you go for the archer range?
I think the archery range, right? Liereyy can wall behind the Palisade Gate. Well, maybe not with 2 scorpions there. This is going to be a really tough engagement for Liereyy to take. He's going to have to hope for some great conversions if he wants to fight this.
Has 2 monks there. Scorpions wouldn't be the greatest thing to snipe those monks. Archer range number 1 in danger. The gate already broken. Now goes for the monastery. But I think won't find the kill there. Scorpions with the extra range for the Khmer. Just so good.
Yeah, Liereyy can't micro against that. One more range for those scorpions than the crossbows have. And crossbows obviously not doing too much damage against them. 1 archer range is going to go down. Lierey's production kind of hurting here.
That monk will bring the relic there to a battlefield. I'm not really sure if that's the best idea, my man.
Siege workshop from Liereyy defensively in a really ugly position, and the crossbows hitting the ram. It's soaking up all that fire, and the knight's just taking out the second archer range. So Lierey's going to struggle to produce units here.
Absolutely. Let's take a look. First engagement here, and Scorpions could do something. Vikings not having redemption, so no chance to convert those Scorpions or any siege.
Those Scorpions sniping 2 monks too. And the Mangonel coming out. Scorpions do have 1 more range than the Mangonel, so if Yo micros carefully, he can take that down.
Good dodge for now. Okay, we'll trade 1. Second one down. Nice move for Liereyy. Solid defense for sure, but his crossbow numbers won't increase. I think Yo can soon take a real fight. But still, 3 monks behind us though.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially since he lost those 3 Scorpions. Liereyy with good repairs on that Mangonel. And Lierey's actually held this position here.
Oh, builds a castle there as well. Mangonel will die at the front without any real losses. Does Yo want to jump? Not really. Probably snipes those 2 monks. Not going to happen. Behind this, economies look pretty solid. 3 TCs for both players here. What it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of panic resources invested, though, for Liereyy. Like that castle, he had to send all those villagers to stone. Doesn't really help with your boom too much. He had to make the siege workshop, the Mangonels, the monks. Whereas the Khmer player is kind of a nice transition for Mr. Yo. The economy is all working towards knights and scorpions.
Now some more villagers being sent to the front. Mr. Yo apparently thinking about building a castle. Only 200 stone behind there. No, he builds TC number 4 somewhere. Oh, and that's at the gold that actually belongs to Liereyy.
Yeah, he recognizes perfectly that that area of the map is so important. As he dives, this TC is going to run away when Liereyy comes over with the army. Maybe he comes back there at another time.
Well, if so, then the castle will most likely be up there. Nice defense, and well, Liereyy is on the way to Imperial Age as well, but map control so much on the side of Mr. Yo. How much wood do we have at the top here? That looks like 4 or 5k left, I would say.
It's enough to maybe sustain a push through the middle so Liereyy can get map control back. I mean, Liereyy needs to read the map right now. He needs to know that that middle area is going to be so important for him. Mr. Yo has already recognized that fact as he's coming in with the knights at the top. Liereyy, though, with the quick walls. Liereyy with the quick walls.
Lots of houses being dropped there, and Mr. Yo, I think he doesn't want to
Don't go
dive
in.
in there. Takes some losses and goes away. Behind this, Mr. Yo goes on to 5 TCs. Where should he drop his castle?
I'm thinking somewhere on that middle wood line, but not too far forward. Okay, well, Mr. Yo, thank you.
He gives you an answer. And that's like so unprotected. That's so risky. Like that should never work. Maybe he went for it because he saw the full army at the top.
It's so weird though. Like, even if you get to imp faster, you're only gonna have like one treb out there before Liereyy gets to imp.
Oh, defensive castle, but that's not protected with any army as well. Mr. Yo could potentially dive in there. That could be a lot of dead villagers. Crossbow completely out of position.
Yeah, does Yo see that castle coming up? He does not see that castle coming up, so he can't dive.
Oh.
And his might be denied here.
He's at 75% now. I'm not sure if the castle can range it. 84%. Some villagers will surely die. I think the castle will go up though. Dave.
It's gonna be close. Dude, it's gonna be close. Liereyy not targeting the villagers. The castle does go up, but like, how long does that stay? Because Liereyy has 2 castles producing trebs.
Yeah, I think the castle will fall. Did you see how Mr. Yo did send in his knights so that the castle would fire on them and the villagers could survive to finish the castle?
It's a really, really nice move there from Mr. Yo. And a second castle behind this. Oh. Is he just playing the long game? He knows Lierey's going to run out of wood and he wants Liereyy to focus everything over here rather than...
But shouldn't you then build the castle at the left-hand side to block the extra wood lines?
Yeah, maybe. But Lierey's still bringing relics back to that monastery. Why?
Uh-oh.
Make another one.
He's diving in now. That's shortly before Cavalier and +4 is finishing. Those 2 traps are going down. And Liereyy, he doesn't have the damage output yet. Still no Arbalest tech.
Yep, and Lierey's trying to wall these Cavalier in. That's a really cute move there from him, but there's no villagers on the other side. Yo is going to escape in time. He did lose quite a few Cavalier, but no trebs from Liereyy, so maybe Liereyy loses this forward position in his base.
Cavaliers are so low now. Look at that, but a monk being added by Mr. Yo here. Lovely move. He knows he needs to heal them up before he can take a better engagement soon.
Just such great map awareness from Yo to know that all the important resources are on this side for Liereyy and to delay him from getting out there.
Arbalest trying to find an engagement, but the castle can still range them, so that's not really going to happen. Monk suicides himself as well, and Arbalest not on stand ground there. More losses of their friends. I think both castles will fall at the front here.
Yeah, Liereyy repairing, but I believe that the castle from Yo can range his vills, and I think the castle from Liereyy can range Yo's vills. As Liereyy tries to quick wall, he's blocking with 1 villager, those Cavalier are coming in, and I can't help but feel like that might be a waste there from Yo losing all those units.
I think so as well, but especially because he couldn't save his castle and now the traps are down. Yes, congratulations, but you lost all your army here. At the moment, 21 military to 35. Oh, look at that. The castle now opening the retreat path. Look at that. Shot the palisade open so that the Cavaliers can get home. What a nice move.
Very, very nice awareness there from Yo. Putting archer ranges in front of this, too. Is he going to tech into skirmisher? He is. Needs some time to get all the upgrades, and he's actually pulled his trebs back.
Wants to save
He's got a forward monastery with relics, too.
Yeah.
What is both of these players? They don't build them safely.
Yeah. 2 and the other 2. Not really sure. There's 1 relic still at the left-hand side, so yeah. Both of them in one screen here. Very, very much on the open. Score still very close. Mr. Yo expands to another castle at the left-hand side.
And now Liereyy, with the castle placement on the left, has kind of secured that other wood line in the middle of the map. So Yo put all his attention on the right here, but Liereyy has branched out to the left while Yo is busy. And Lierey's economy behind this, I'm actually really, really impressed because his macro has been on point. He's got more villagers than Yo, and it's now that he has more wood access, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, but actually, I think he is doing a small mistake there. His only safe woodland at the moment at the back is something that he heavily goes for. Soon he needs to expand to the front, and that will be very open for raids, and the next attack of Mr. Yo is going exactly there.
Mr. Yo kind of building up his eco, building up his army right now, getting all his upgrades in. Light Cav tech now.
Trying to get all the upgrades for the skirms as well. Would love to see him add some more villagers, actually. Like 113 with commerce solid, but I wouldn't mind to see like 130 here. It's still a very aggressive game.
Lieri losing the castle on the left, but he is pushing back on the right now. So if he loses that wood line, does he just go to the wood line on the right again?
But you can range the wood line from behind, right? He can just put some skirmishers here, Mr. Yo that is, and take some aggression there. I think the left-hand side is more important at the moment. That will be super exposed.
Yeah, Lieri shifting more villagers farther to the left, hoping to hide from Mr. Yo, get more wood access. It's still looking pretty good for him. He's got 63 on wood right now. So it's not like he's starved yet.
Chieftain tech now, so the pikemen become really scary against all the cavalry. Lots of arbalists. And Mr. Yo, he commits here. Will he get that castle? He surely will lose a lot if he wants to commit.
Yeah, I don't know if he does here. Maybe he's just trying to snipe it before the arbalists arrive, but now he's got to back up. Raid some villagers, maybe.
Well, maybe. He's getting a lot of good kills there, but some solid quick walls there by Lieri. Will he finish those? Oh, I think that's a hole. Oh, yeah. And won't have too many. Lieri, he still has 40 on wood, but that won't last too long. Look at the inefficiency again at the top.
Look at the north. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. They're all going for that one tree, and Lieri relocates them to a different position on that safer wood line. Mr. Yo, at what point does he start teching into like scorpions to deal with the infantry and the arbalists from Lieri?
I think it's too immobile. He wants to play the wild card and raid everywhere. I think he will mainly stay with Hussar and skirmishes for now.
Berserk's raiding at the bottom. The gold from Mr. Yo. That's very nice from Lieri.
Yeah, but more
But
villagers
like we
going
keep
there.
saying, he's got to secure woodlines somewhere. Somehow.
Virtually identical population here. Tries to find more areas to attack. Both monasteries still intact here. Oh, but some traps. Now getting sniped.
Lieri's left woodline being harassed by one light cav. Going over with all those arbalists to deal with that. Thinks better of it and goes for potential raids on Mr. Yo. Lieri, I can't help but feel like he needs another castle in this position somehow. He lost the first one for free.
It's not going to be that easy, right, Lieri? 0 stone miners as well. 2 traps now knocking at the front door here, but I think pikemen should be able to clear this one up. Only 1 skirmisher, some more joining though.
Yeah, the Cavalier from Mr. Yo are going to try and defend, but with Chieftains in, the Pikes, like you said, doing so much damage to them, that's not an efficient trade for Mr. Yo.
It feels like Mr. Yo could just go for skirmishers now, right? Just full skirmishers should be really efficient. And look at that, he has 31 on the field, produces 4 more. I think it's a really good unit at the moment.
Very, very nice against what Lieri is producing. Lieri doesn't have Elite Berserk yet on the field, which would counter skirmishers pretty nicely.
Yeah, but also, like, that's a gold investment, right? How much gold are we getting?
Big tech.
2 relics here, some more gold at the front, send some more villagers. Castle will survive this one.
Lieri's held again. So Yo keeps coming back to that side, and Lieri holds every single time, but I feel like Yo is just pressuring that side so that he can shift focus over to the left.
And
When Lieri looks at that.
And what a shifting it is, indeed. Look at that. Now Siege Workshop being dropped. Skirmish is suddenly becoming a good raiding unit here as well, if it's only villagers. Hussar's getting some kills as well. And Lieri, he's running out of options. He needs to gain ground somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to secure woodlines. We keep saying, we said it since like minute 10 in this game. Like, you gotta get control over some woodlines. Obviously, map generation is unfortunate for him, but he knew what it looked like. And the Siege Workshop's now coming down from Yo, so Scorpion's probably gonna be on the field pretty soon here.
Yeah, and that's basically how Acropolis is designed, right? It is control about the woodlines. It's a bit the same category as Atacama, but Atacama, the wood in the center, here it's down at the plateau.
Oh, Siege Ram. Siege Ram from Mr. Yo. Interesting decision there. Skirmisher Siege Ram. It's going to be tough for Lieri to counter that with his current composition.
What can Liereyy really go for? He could maybe go for Rams himself. Arbalest don't make a lot of sense. Berserks, you mentioned it earlier. Now fuse some in as well. Lightcap would feel so wrong as Vikings.
Yo constantly keeping up the pressure on that right-hand side too. Hussars coming in now from him. Liereyy forced to garrison all of his villagers. Oh boy, this is not looking good for Liereyy whatsoever.
Pop 138 for him with 32 idle villagers here. Some Scorpions even being mixed in. Berserks now adding something there to the front. Dave.
It just occurred to me. Are we going to see the first loss for Vikings in this tournament?
Looks very likely, yeah. Yeah, people have been spamming it in the start of the game as well. And, well, we have now the champion switch, though. Okay, feels like Berserks won't cut the chase. Production, obviously, so much faster out of all the barracks compared to... How many castles do we have left? 2 for Mr. Liereyy.
Heavy Scorpion being tech from Mr. Yo, too.
Wow.
Really, really tough unit for Vikings to stop. That's like the Viking counter right there. You're going to have to tech into, like, onagers to deal with that. Liereyy just doesn't have the gold for that.
Oh god, and losing 3 more traps won't really help you either. Really banking up gold. And Tarsa's just finding so many nice kills. More arrays at the left hand side is something I would love to see. But look at that. Now getting those Scorpion numbers up. Already have siege engineers as well.
That wood line is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And Liereyy is running out of time both in years and in wood count.
What does he have? He has 18 on wood at the moment, 400 in the bank. Some Scorpions behind this will just add so much damage. And now double crossbow tag, the unique tick of Khmer, and then suddenly he becomes double as efficient.
And the Arbalists are coming over. I want to see a big shot before this game ends.
Oh, please.
I really want to see Arbalists just getting destroyed by Heavy Scorpion. I doubt that Liereyy is going to let that happen, but it would be nice to see. And now Liereyy is completely off of wood.
He is a guy, I think in King of the Desert finals, game number 9, after losing, he did that. But, oh god, the Scorpions are doing it anyways. He doesn't even need to do it on purpose.
Look at the double bolts being fired from those Scorpions. So much damage output there. And like I said before, Liereyy has 6 on wood. 4.
Oh god, look
chopping
at
a straggler tree.
How he's mowed down. Debates a bit here with some of the army. Now moves in, but oh god, he's just getting completely smashed here. Well, nice, very nice micro. Very nice micro. Look at how Liereyy debated there. That was the perfect engagement. Oh god, Mr. Yo didn't take a look, and we predicted this as the most one-sided fight for Mr. Yo, but that was actually a perfect clear up by Liereyy.
Yeah, Liereyy distracting the Scorpions on one side, looping around from the other side, and I think he wanted to kill all of those before he resigned. Obviously, I mean, that wasn't the worst wood generation I've ever seen on Acropolis, because Liereyy had that safe back wood line, and that safe wood line gave him more than enough time to consider securing the front of the map. Like, he should have prioritized that earlier. I think Yo just had better map recognition.
Absolutely.
And a better strategy going forward, and Liereyy didn't put enough importance on securing the middle. He had the map vision, he could see it. He just didn't do it.
Yeah. Just think about it, like, if Mr. Yo had the pressure against his own map, right? There's still only some wood in the back as well. Liereyy would have chopped through that. And, well, it was simply coming down to all the map control here. And that's how Acropolis should be played.
And we've seen the first loss for the Vikings in this tournament. Finally, they get one in the L column, and the Khmer come out on top on Acropolis. Mr. Yo is up 2-1 over Liereyy. Whew. It's a good series so far.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we expected, right? Oh, those two players, they're so good. And, well, when we expect them to deliver great games, they deliver as if they were postmen.
Are we just going to leave it silent after that joke? That was a terrible joke, man.
I built it up so well.
I hate these. I hate these jokes from you. I hate them.
Okay, then let's maybe take a look at the upcoming maps, because the next one will be again a home map of Mr. Liereyy. It has to be Wings.
Yeah, it's going to be Wings. Obviously, it's his last home map. And what civ do you think Liereyy is going to pick for Wings?
Well, it feels weird, right? He's kind of forced into picking Lithuanians, maybe? Japanese, like, is that his intentional pick anyways there? It's so tricky to decide. And on the other side, I see 3 very good civilizations. Probably want to see Huns for cross or Persians, so I feel like Saracens now.
Saracens for wings. Okay.
It feels also feels wrong.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was his 5th pick, right? So he prioritized that over Huns and Persians. And Saracens, like, if you're not Tato, what can they do on cross, really?
Probably has to be Japanese for cross then. Wings, Lithuanians feels very right. 2-1 lead here for Mr. Yo, Viper and Terra following this one up. Then we will take a small break. Zero Empires an announcement for the in-between break. The 4 of us will talk about the series that we already had. We'll talk a bit about the final, and after a good rest for either Viper or Hera, we will jump into the finals. Dave, what's the way for Liereyy to come back into this one? He needs to win the next 2 maps.
Yeah, he needs to put early pressure on wings. I think that might be his strategy, considering it's his home map. He had a really good performance on it. I believe yesterday he played against Tato on wings, right?
What was that wings game like?
It was Eagles from Liereyy.
It was Ethiopians, right? It was very fast defensive play by Tato, had to build the defensive tower and never really got into the game. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was an impressive play, but, well, no Eagles from Liereyy today. So, Yo.
It's so funny after that first performance from Yo on Arabia, too. Where he seemed a little bit off. He didn't pull his gold villagers away in time. And then the last 2 games have just been so good from him. It's like he needed that one to just, get into the flow, to get warmed up. And Liereyy now on the back foot.
But also,
if you're Liereyy... Oh, go ahead.
I think we can't really judge Mr. Yo's performance in the first game. Like, Liereyy was absolutely on point in game 1, but Mr. Yo did 1 mistake, and that instantly cost him the game, right? That's something that won't happen too often. It's not like you can say, like, oh, he did several mistakes, he looked shaky that day. I think after losing all those villagers, his decisions were absolutely fine.
Okay, we're going to get into game number 4 here. Liereyy versus Mr. Yo semifinal. What's it going to be?
It's going to be Lithuanians against Saracens here. So, indeed, pick number 7 for Liereyy against pick number 5 here for Mr. Yo. This one could be a really wild one. Guys, we cannot wall on this area. We could dog block this one. And this map is so wild because the distance is so extremely short. And we have some stone that we could take in the center, but cannot wall on this green area.
And we see Mr. Yo immediately going for the market as the Saracens. We see that all the time, and Liereyy spots that right away. So no shenanigans from Mr. Yo. Pretty predictable start here. How fast is he going to be to the Castle Age?
Well, he is already sitting at 300 food. As we can see, Liereyy, he's going for the upgrades first. Horse color, fletching. Mr. Yo will try to make a defense happen. I think Liereyy will punish him for that. That's like extremely greedy.
Yeah, extremely greedy, especially when you're right next to your opponent. And your opponent is Lithuanians who get that extra food, who have the faster trash. So they put that pressure on you really, really early, and you can see the spearman already at Mr. Yo's base.
Well, he is walking over there faster, right? And look at that, Liereyy already.
And look, blocking with
upgrades.
the camel.
Oh, that's
He couldn't
so good.
block the house, though. He tried to block that quick wall with the camel. He's attacking now with a skirmisher and a spearman, not doing too much damage.
Oh, and Mr. Yo, did he switch his focus? Look at that, he just sold the stone, nothing else. Now he goes for the skirmishers, goes for fletching, goes for padded archer armor. He changed his strategy, I believe.
So he sold the stone, he bought food,
Still
and now he's producing skirmishers. Okay.
Still floating a massive amount of gold here, quite surprising. Wants to defend with this one. I think the next step should be a stable for Mr. Liereyy. Second archer range instead.
Could we see a stable for Mr. Yo, too?
Oh yeah, That's the beauty of Saracens, right? You can go for tech switches so easily. Just buy yourself 100 food, and he's trying to go for that stable at the very top.
Stable, obviously, you can get some scouts out on the field to counter the skirmishers. Mr. Yo already with the armor upgrade for his skirmishers too, so going to be really, really good against any archers that Liereyy sends out.
Oh god. Lierey's micro is just so on point. Look at that, how little damage he's taking. And skirmishers doing so much damage to Mr. Yo's skirms.
Yeah, and Yo forced to engage with villagers because he doesn't have the scouts out onto the field yet. And that's so much idle time for him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Liereyy picks off a villager here too. He's got to be looking at the HP of all of those.
Picks a skirmisher first, and KD 3-2 actually felt a bit more into the favor of Liereyy. Stable still should... Oh, but now it's walled behind? No, it's not. Okay.
Liereyy tried to get that quick wall denial there on Yo, but Yo pushing him back with the scout. The scout is so important in these early battles, especially when it's only skirmishers on the field. They really, really struggle to take that down. No upgrades for it, but it doesn't really need it at this point since there's only one archer on the field from Liereyy. Finally, a spearman coming over from him to help out against those.
Took quite some time. Only one archer there in the back as well. And as you can see, look at that. Liereyy is sending his archer back. Wants to micro with the skirmishers, be the skirmishers. And, well, he's simply having so much more damage output.
This is the micro we love from Liereyy. Just so much confidence. Look, he's got that spearman. He's trying to debate the fire here from Mr. Yo's skirmishers. He goes back, picks the knight, wipes up all the skirms from Yo. And now he's got a spearman coming forward to deal with those scouts. And he's just ignoring the hits from the scouts. He's just targeting the skirmisher mass from Yo.
Oh, well, so nicely done. But that spearman now a bit uncanny, going a bit too aggressively, loses a lot of HP.
Yeah, but he's going to distract with it again. And he's also keeping his archers alive, too.
Behind this,
See
yeah.
if Yo can pick these off. Yo constantly using those 3 villagers to attack, which is so much idle time for him. And he just can't build up army. He's got a bigger force on the field. But Liereyy keeps microing down his skirmishers.
Oh god, that's so beautiful. 14-5 military now, and Mr. Yo, he can't build a defensive tower because he sold all his stone. Look at how much gold he's constantly floating.
Yeah, it's just not balancing the eco effectively, even with the market on the field here. And the villagers forced to retreat from Yo. He's got a bunch of weak ones. One goes down now that there's archers in the pack from Liereyy.
That was just so good. Every other player would have fought with all the skirms and archers there, but Liereyy kept them behind, and that's like 3 archers doing so much more damage, and that's why you got the pick off there.
And Yo getting the armor for the scouts. So double stable. It's full feudal play for him. Usually we see the Saracens go up to the next age pretty fast due to the market, but he just can't with the constant pressure from Liereyy. Lierey's going to pick off, I think, 3 more villagers. Look, he keeps targeting the full HP ones. Now there's a bunch of weak ones in that fight.
Uh-oh, and Scout's not really attacking. Now they're back at it. Spearman not really taking the best fight here. Archers moving around. I think Mr. Yo will clear it up, but as you said several times, villagers really low, and that's all villager time that's lost.
Yo's not clearing anything up. The spearmen came forward. They did decent damage to those scouts, and the story of the game, the Lithuanian speed on the skirmishers, on the spearmen, combined with Lierey's micro, it's impossible for Yo to mass units. It just seems like an impossible task for him right now.
Skirm count at 0 now. 3 scouts trying to do something. There's still a really good counter. We still have bloodlines on them, +1 defense. Maybe forging could have been the next step.
And look at Lierey's resources behind this. Yo's economy is stretched. Even with the market to balance things out, Liereyy is going to be going up to the Castle Age soon.
And those scouts getting not too many kills in, honestly, right? Where was the last time a skirmisher died over here at the right-hand side and didn't get a single kill over here to the left-hand side till one spearman arrived?
Yeah, the skirmisher mass now is getting pretty deadly for Liereyy. He's actually mixing in archers too, so he can kill those villagers in only a couple shots. Forging coming in from Mr. Yo. It's full feudal defense here for him with scouts, but obviously Liereyy with the spearmen, and because he wiped up all those skirmishers from Yo early, Yo really doesn't have a counter to the spearmen in the front.
Oh, it's only 2 spearmen at the moment. I think Mr. Yo could win this fight. The big question is though, was that the plan of picking Saracens, that you are forced into double stable mass scouts and your opponent can still dictate the game?
Yeah, and Castle Age is on the way for Liereyy too. Let's look at Yo's resources. Nowhere close. He's going to try and wipe this up. Maybe if he wipes this up, he can turn around, put pressure on Lierey's base.
Oh, that will be a clear up indeed. 1 spearman left only and everything will die. Now it's really important that Mr. Yo isn't losing any of his villagers or archers, but that's going to happen regardless. And Liereyy, he dives in deep, wants to maybe snag some low HP villagers. No, gets another archer here. He keeps the range count so low of Mr. Yo.
Yep. So he can just produce spears to counter the scout army from Yo. Now he's just given up on his skirmishers. He's going to lose all of those. He figures, I'll just switch into my Castle Age composition now. I think I've bought myself enough time. Credit to Mr. Yo, though. He had a ton of weak villagers, and they were all at the top. They were all away from that army. They weren't on that wood line where they could be ranged. So he didn't end up losing too much there. He's only 2 villagers behind, but obviously not on the way to the Castle Age yet.
That's a great...
Oh, he's going to click.
That's a great spot by you, Dave, that every single low HP villager is actually a farmer, none on the wood lines or gold or the ones that are expanding. Liereyy, he needs to hold a bit longer, and then it's probably going to be knights. Now drops a monastery as well, obviously would love to collect some relics.
Yeah, double stable. Oh no, yeah, double stable from Liereyy and the monastery. Obviously, if you get the relics, you get the attack bonus for Lithuanians, and the TC in a pretty safe location there from Liereyy. He could have opted to go out to the far wood line, but he knew the scouts from Mr. Yo were wandering around, so he didn't want to take that risk. He is fully walled in his base, except for one hole at the front, but I don't think Yo can go in there with all the spearmen wandering around.
Oh, yeah, they're there to protect, and I don't really think so either. Now some knights knocking at the front door, shouldn't really do too much. Yo is completely walled, and this is a surprisingly even game, Dave.
Yeah, credit to Yo. Like, it looks so messy there, and Liereyy was doing so much with his micro, and the engagement seems so much in his favor. And Yo is going to get to Castle Age within 10 villagers of Liereyy, and still with military on the field.
Uh-oh, and now at the bottom...
Is he going to find that TC?
Yo, super aware. I think he should split those scouts, right? Are 10 scouts ever doing more than, like, 6 scouts? I think he should.
I don't think so. Yeah, they're accomplishing the same thing.
Knights continuing to be spammed forward. Iron casting here for Mr. Yo, who goes on to camels to counter the knights.
I love how Yo's doing all the little things as he's kind of distracting this army, giving him enough time. He's doing the little things to keep himself safe. Like, the villagers were chopping a tree that was at 23 wood left at the front, and he shifted those away to a full tree because he saw the knights outside.
Yeah, really, really nice move for sure. And, well, maybe things
Is he going to pick off the monk? Oh, it seems like every time Yo gets close to something... Okay, he's going to see that monk. It's a good pick from him. 100 gold wasted from Liereyy there.
And a dream.
And camels being hidden from Mr. Yo in the back of his base. He's going to build up enough to counter this army. He's going to repair that market until he has enough army to send out. And then Liereyy is going to have to go back with those knights, I think.
Yeah, but he sees the second attack upgrade on the scouts as well. So he knows that infantry or like some melee units are coming from Mr. Yo. And camel just feels like the very natural choice.
Yeah, as Saracens. As those villagers are still chopping the trees at the front. Okay, they're not close to being chopped fully, so Liereyy can't get in. I like how Yo has gone over to the right-hand side to put his TC far away, but Lierey's actually going to find that with a skirmisher. Great scouting there from Liereyy to see that.
Yeah, surely great awareness. Now the light cav tag even for Mr. Yo. Only now got double bidex. Could have been a bit earlier for my liking, but the early game was just so wild.
So both players seeing the TCs on the outside of the map from each other. Yo actually scouted it with auto scout in the south. And I love how he's kept his scouts alive because he can do damage like this if Liereyy isn't careful. That's so many villagers going down.
Oh yeah, and like way more than I would have expected. That's like 7, 8 villagers dying there. Maybe make it another one even. And, well, that was really efficient. Does he want to commit there? Not really. Can just get out of there. Didn't lose a single light cav.
It really feels like Yo has just dragged himself back into this game. It felt like such a winning position from Liereyy early, but we're looking at the economy. Only 5 villager difference. Yo has the counter units to the knights. Liereyy forced to go into pikemen, forced to go into siege to maybe do a push, and hasn't denied Yo's ability to go to the edge of the map and make TCs. Yo has 2 out there.
Yeah, and gets the kills against the knights at the top. Did deny the relics quite nicely, and then, well, Lithuanians don't have too much going for themselves, but now relic number 1 and 2 soon to be coming in, and a push through the center here. Pikeman, Mangonel, Knight, Monk.
And tower defense from Liereyy, or from Mr. Yo, and the Mangonel is there, so he's got to be careful. He's got to abandon that position, delete the tower, and go back to his TC. The camels aren't going to do too much against the pikes, but I don't think Liereyy can push in here.
Yeah, and Mr. Yo now is switching to crossbowmen to counter those pikemen. Obviously won't be too great against the knights and the mangonel alike, so that's a bit surprising to me, but what other option could he have gone for after the tower got denied?
Yeah, what unit does Yo go for here? He's putting another tower just to defend his base there at the front.
It's not really to protect his gold, it's more about positional advantage there. And what do you think about a university and maybe even guard tower?
Yeah, guard tower would be nice, especially if you could push across the center of the map to that stone, maybe solidify that position. Obviously, there's some extra stones on the outside, so Liereyy could take those, but there's not too many of them.
Yeah, it's they can only come in pairs. Guard tower indeed now coming up here. And
look at those light cav. So much value from those for Mr. Yo. Another 2 villager picks at the south of Lierey's base.
Oh, that's so sweet. And yeah, maybe he can find even more there. Also really good for scouting. And now going back at the center here, I don't think that Liereyy can really break that position.
No, he's got the monks, but he's got to be careful about overextending. Maybe the light cav can come in and pick those off. The mangonel, he's got to be worried about overextending. Like, he's got to keep all of his army in the same
at the very
spot.
top, though. Knights are in there. Camels just left. They were there to protect. And, oh, God, that's a heavy loss for Mr. Yo.
No. Mr. Yo going to lose about 8 villagers there. He did pick another villager from Liereyy with those light cav. They're getting so much value there, but you're right. That raid is just so devastating. And now the villager count is climbing. Almost 20 villager difference for Liereyy. That raid really helped him. And he was on the stone on the right-hand side.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's just brutal. So many losses. And that's the problem now. If you're forced into crossbowmen, right? Your opponent can play the mobility card so well. Ballistic only now coming in as well. And, well, it feels like those 2 relics are really kicking in. How many more does Liereyy see at the moment? Oh, he doesn't have vision of the other 3.
The light cav getting 3 more villager kills. 4 more villager kills.
Wow.
And they're going to survive again. One of them will die, but 2 of them remain alive. Yo,
to be
so
back instantly. Oh, that's so good. Oh, but won't find the kill this time.
Yeah. He did tech into guard tower. That effectively defends his woodline and his farming eco at the front of his base, but Liereyy can just shift focus here. He's sending the knights over to the right. Yikes, this is not good for Mr. Yo if he loses a bunch of villagers. That positioning from Liereyy there with the knights, blocking the villagers from retreating was so good.
That's 13 damage per hit now with all the upgrades that he has on his knights. Monks protecting the mangonel there. We have some raids at the bottom coming in pretty soon with the crossbows. Could find some kills. Lots more villagers coming here.
Yep, and the camels and light cav. They see the villagers coming over there. He has to assume it's a TC. He's got the crossbows, so he's going to wipe out the vills on the farms and on the gold. But can he survive at his base?
Well, guard tower is certainly helping out, but lots of villagers dying there for sure. Some camels maybe coming over, but the monks just too good at protecting those guard towers. The mangonels most likely. Mr. Yo, could he even consider attacking that TC with Saracen crossbowmen? They
I
outrange
think he
the
could.
TC.
I think he could, but do you want to be stationary there for that long? You're giving Liereyy time, right? You're giving him time to maybe bring back a force and counter that. You're giving him time to raid, which he's done at the right side on that stone again, on the farms again. Liereyy, it's just not giving Yo a break at all.
Oh god, that's so ugly, and it feels a bit like the LAN against Mr. Yo game as well, right? He's the defender, he's getting raided everywhere, needs to send villagers in, and he's somewhat holding, but the opponent keeps raiding everywhere, as I said. Oh god.
And Lierey's just producing, I feel like they're killing equal amounts of villagers, right? It's just Liereyy is producing villagers faster, and that's why he's climbing. And he's raiding again on that TC. There's just so many areas these players need to focus on. They can't notice it right away, and Yo is going to lose all of those villagers over on the right-hand side.
Oh god, oh god. And that is something that puts him so far behind. No idea how he's still ahead in score, but he's close to 40 villagers behind now. Meanwhile, trying to out-micro the Knights at the home base. Not going to be that easy, though.
Yeah, he did micro down a Mangonel there, which was really, really nice for him, but he's going to have to run away from the Knights. They do have +2. They do have 10+4 attack in the Castle Age with the Lithuanian bonus. He's found a nice spot to sit, but he's going to get wiped up there. Those Knights just with such huge damage output.
Yeah, he didn't have enough to really stack up there, and Mr. Yo, I think he is only in this game because the score is looking so good for him. Now drops another archer range, so he wants to go up to 2 again, and, well, it's not looking too great on any stats, basically. Look at that, 50 population lead at the moment for Liereyy.
Yeah, I think if you were to talk to Yo right now in the middle of this game and say, Yo, you're 40 villagers behind, he would be like, what? I'm 40 vills behind based on this score?
Yeah, he won't believe it for sure. And he sees like not a lot of army from the opponent, so he knows the game has to be even with the score, and well, that's really surprising for him for sure, and that's why we are that long into the game. But soon, Liereyy will double the overall population.
Yeah, and what's Lierey's res looking like? He's not thinking about going up to Imp, but you look at the amount of farmers he has. 40 farmers, 30 on wood, 20 on gold. It's looking so solid for him now that Yo's not raiding his economy.
And, well, Liereyy could find another angle again. And soon, like, with only that small amount of 8 villagers here, he could potentially make an argument of attacking the TC even.
Yeah, especially with the 10+5 attack. Now, 2 of those Knights are weak, so maybe he's got to consider that. There's also 2 camels coming over. I don't think he can take down that TC.
Yeah,
but more idle time force from him.
Yeah, and camels indeed. Liereyy, meanwhile, raiding at the top with pikemen as well. So you're somehow trying to hold on. Not really sure what his next attack options could even be. At the moment, he goes for more camels, more crossbowmen.
Yeah, Liereyy just taking HP off those camels. I think that's a trade he's happy to make with his eco situation. The 10+5 Knights do pretty well against that, and he's in on the wood line. It feels like we've seen each one of these raids so many times, right? Like we've seen this story before.
Yeah. Well, it's the Mr. Yo, right? He's the master of deja vus, and well, that's going to be a lot of villager losses, and it's looking worse and worse for poor Mr. Yo here. No control at the top. The back is the only thing that's really going for him at the moment.
Liereyy could just flood Knights here and kill TCs. I think he could do it. He's added another stable. He's added another archer range. So he's going to go into skirmishers.
Yeah, he goes for 5 stable production at the moment. That's just ridiculous. He wants to finish this game in Castle Age. Look at all the red dots on the minimap, Dave.
Yeah, it's crazy. Lierey's just taking control here, and Yo doesn't have any on gold, so it's really tough for him to produce camels. He's got to slowly make his way over here with the crossbow army. Liereyy can run away with this, or he can just commit against the TC, I guess.
500 HP left there, and then forces in some repairs. Let's take a look. More Knights. Is he attacking somewhere else at the same time? Yeah, raids at the front. So many more Knights being produced. Look at that production, Dave.
Yeah, it's really crazy. He's decided he doesn't want to go up to Imperial. He knows he can win this game in Castle Age with a lot of pressure from those 5 stables and with the Elite Skirmisher upgrade. Yeah, how does Yo fight this? Can't, right?
He's just holding on, hopes that enough knights die to camels, but he doesn't know that the economy looks so bad. Look at that, 124 villagers, 262. That's not even fair,
I feel like
Dave.
10+5 knights actually trade pretty well against the camels, too, from Mr. Yo. There's just such high damage output from them. As we see Liereyy again with just 3 skirmishers in the middle of this big fight, microing down the crossbows. And he knows how important those numbers are to Mr. Yo.
Oh, yeah. And, well, Camel's simply dying here. Liereyy, he just needs to produce more knights. Comes in with another raid at the top. Yo wants to go away there. And
Now that TC dies. Now it dies, I think.
soon we have
there's
100
no way.
pop difference, Dave.
Oh, yeah, there is 100 pop. Oh, my God. Double the amount of villagers here for Liereyy over Mr. Yo. And you said it before, I think the score is the only thing that's keeping Yo in the game here. But he has to realize at this point, like when he sees so many knights just being instantly reproduced and replaced, he has to realize that Liereyy is just way too far ahead.
Yeah, or maybe Yo thinks, okay, he has a lot of knights. He can only afford this because he's 1 TC. But no, he saw so many TCs earlier as well. Loses lots of villagers. Yo, he has some fighting spirit. Obviously, 20,000 euro tournament, semi-finals. He want to squeeze every % of equity you still have of winning a game. But he didn't have that 1% for quite some time.
Yeah, and the 6th stable was just going up there from Liereyy, and Yo calls the GG. What a performance from Liereyy. We said it early when he was microing the skirmishers. He kept the range unit count from Mr. Yo down to nothing, and that enabled him to defend against the scouts. It enabled him to pick off some villagers, and he carried that into the Castle Age. Yo did try and bring himself back there with some excellent raids and an excellent hold at his base, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that aggression at the start was so good. But also, like, Mr. Yo, how he helped there, how many scouts he got out, and how much he did with those scouts the whole game long. It was impressive as well.
I think he got like 20 villager kills with the scouts alone. It was crazy. If we had capture age, the old capture age, we would have been able to see how many kills each unit had. But let's go into the statistics here. What do you see?
I see a lot of numbers. One of the numbers is 213. The other number is 188.
And the largest army count for Liereyy. Obviously, Yo he couldn't mass army because he was constantly defending against the knights from Liereyy. Economy for Liereyy, obviously way better on food and wood as well.
Yeah, his production was just like he forced so much idle time for Mr. Yo as well. He needed to jump into the guard tower, jumped into the TCs, and it was Yo just holding on because he built such nice units to counter the push of Liereyy, but Liereyy had just so much behind this to really afford just wasting lots of units.
Whew. All right, so one map left in the series. We're going to a game 5. If you had asked me what I wanted to see out of the series starting the day, I would say game 5. I love both of these players. I love watching both of them. They're different styles, but they're both amazing, and they're both top 5 in the world.
Yeah. And, well,
what do you see for Civ picks here on Cross?
I think Huns and Persians might be my top 2. I like both so much. And Slavs and Japanese, I think they will fall behind. I think Japanese is the better choice here because of the fishing ship bonus. But Huns, early aggression, absolutely amazing. You can fish boom so nicely. Persians, faster TCs, faster docks, incredible boom. This will be a tough task for Liereyy ahead.
Do you think? Okay, so if Liereyy didn't time out on the Civ draft, we don't know why this happened for him. If he didn't time out, what Civ would be better than Japanese on Cross? Could you make an argument for maybe Byzantines?
He could have gone for Byzantines, or he could have picked Huns/Persians himself.
Yeah. But Japanese is not a bad Civ for him to have in his pocket here.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like, Huns and Persians feel like very strong cavalry civilizations, and Japanese halberdiers with their attack rate could be a really sick counter to that.
And obviously the fishing ships getting that extra boost from those 4 lakes is really, really nice for Japanese. And I see the game has started.
Okay, Dave, go for the third biggest type of the day. First semi-final, game number 5. The pressure's really on. Hans against
The
Japanese.
pressure is on both of these players. Yo has been here many times before in situations like this. So has Liereyy, though. And we can see Huns against Japanese on cross. Liereyy starting really close to that pawn, which is quite nice for him. Yo has a choice between 2 different pawns he can take. And Yo is actually opting for the archery range right away. Remember, this is his home map. And this is his choice of civilization pick. Liereyy obviously randoming into the Japanese in the Civ draft.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, he can't be that unhappy. And, well, builds the defensive archer range now as well. Already completely walled at the top, where Mr. Yo isn't even attacking from. Gets the easy dock, and Mr. Yo, early archer range by him. Wouldn't be surprised if we see fletching and then some shenanigans with maybe 2 or 3 archers.
Yeah, and Liereyy just right now trying to find where Yo is. Does Yo spot Lierey's base? I believe he does. Yes, he can see exactly where he started out, so he knows where to go with that aggression. Yo has also chosen to dock the pond in the south, which is safe, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a dock on the pond on the left at some point.
Yeah, very short distance for him there. Liereyy not really the guy that wants to go like super sneaky and do something, is what I say. But that villager, he is on the wrong side of the wall and instantly runs into the archers. Yo.
This is a very good start from Yo. Seeing that villager, I think we both know what that villager is trying to do. He's trying to go get an aggressive dock on the pond on the left-hand side, but that is not going to happen. And Liereyy having the panic wall with houses to deny the archers coming in, that's not a big investment from Yo, but it's done so much early.
Yeah, forces how many villagers here? 5 villagers to wall, 1 villager lost at the front, and Mr. Yo, he sends a villager forward, and that's
Is he going to tower the gold?
Maybe it's still something to sneak a dock. It's stable behind this as well. Yo is going for a lot of aggression. That could be a tower. But only 1 villager.
If he towers that gold area, or maybe he's just going to wait until he can get in here and then try and go for the dock with the army support. The villager coming forward is very strange to me.
Yeah, I think that was... Villagers aren't the fastest on their feet either, right? Maybe it just sent it like a minute ago, then realized that it's completely walled and suddenly was stuck with the villager at the front there.
So Liereyy just got fletching. I think he's going to go into skirmishers here to defend. He already has some archers out on the field. Having to drop a defensive tower as well on that gold, that's probably... If you had asked him at the beginning of the game, that is not something that he wanted to do. And it wasn't even a great defensive tower either, because Yo could just go over to this side.
But nice reaction by Liereyy to cancel this one. Can build another one, and that one is way better for the defense here. Mr. Yo with a nice debate, but Liereyy with a solid defense as well.
So Liereyy is going to get that down in time. I believe Yo is going to get his up as well. He won't delete this one. That'd just be a waste of stone. He can place another one.
Okay, no one going for a second point just yet. We have 1 archer at the right hand side for Liereyy, not really doing too much. And wow, why is this wall open?
Well, Liereyy, I think Liereyy deleted it because he wanted to put a palisade around that tower, but Yo put his palisade down earlier. It was a really, really quick play from Yo to deny that possibility from Liereyy, and now he's going to loop around with his army to the other wood line. He did see that with his horses.
Something really important. Oh, by the way, it's open between the barracks and the woodline there at the top. The horses just squeezed through there. Something I need to mention before that, though, is Mr. Yo still has 46 stone to repair. Now some villagers trying to go aggressively.
Lierey's going to wall it in? Oh, I think Liereyy thought about walling those villagers in the tower and then battering it down, but he's just going to take out that tower, and Yo has to go back. So much pressure here from Yo early, though.
Yeah, Liereyy won't have the greatest control over the woodlines, and, well, is now going for some skirmishes. I could see massive amounts of CA being really annoying in Castle Age here.
Yeah, he's lucky he does have that woodline in the back, though. It's completely safe, so he can take that for quite a while. He does have more fishing ships than Yo as well, and they are Japanese fishing ships. Yo has docked the pond on the left, which is going to be good for him, but right now the food eco looking better for Liereyy.
Yeah, but, well, Mr. Yo is still up on the way to Castle Age, while Liereyy is sitting at 500 food, 60 gold, and, well, he did wall everything off, but he is extremely cornered here.
He actually forced to go on stone too. For any future defense. I never thought I'd say this, Nilly, but I kind of miss towers. There haven't been many tower pushes in Empire Wars, you know? I kind of miss it.
Okay, Dave. The first one ever to raise that problem. Well, I also think like we're still lacking Cumin, right? Cumin tower pushes with Rams and the TC being dropped behind this could have been really sexy, but not a single Cumin pick yet.
And look at what Yo's going into. He just got bloodlines. He just got the armor. He's getting bloodlines right now. So we're gonna see knights from him in the Castle Age. Second stable going up.
And a sneaky villager building the tower there. Not really necessary behind the woodline. Maybe something for the very long control. Yo will drop a siege workshop as well. Massive amount of knights. Will be some pressure, but he needs to get in.
Yo sees that Liereyy doesn't have many wood options either. So maybe that's a long game sort of thing, right?
Ah, okay. And the left-hand side villager wasn't actually for the siege workshop. He or she will sneak a tower there as well. What's her vision? And look at that. The horse in there by Mr. Yo sees everything.
Yep.
That's
and they
so
got
good.
in because of the hole on the other side of the barracks where I think everyone thought that the wood line went to that barracks. It was tricky to spot that one. And both those horses got in. Liereyy killed one of them, but one of them's still alive from Yo. Second tower forced up on the gold from Liereyy too. It's just so messy.
Yeah, doubles down there. And do you think maybe rushing out
Another
University
tower
could be good?
This is exactly what Yo wanted. Look, another tower is going to go down on that other wood line. He's going to control all the wood lines from Liereyy.
Right hand side still something to take, and yeah, that's again the same issue like that we had on Acropolis, right? Mangonel knocking at the front door, and those knights, they won't be too scared of two towers. And now it's open.
And forced to stonewall behind this. This just looks so awkward for Liereyy. He only has one pawn too as the Japanese. Obviously, he's got a ton of fishing ships, but can he make it work?
I think the knights could even attack some of the walls there. The towers need to focus down, and look at that, the house before that is going down, and the villager not in time of walling, or is he? I think that's still open, no?
It's still open. No. There's a wall foundation in between that house and the wall, I believe.
Now it is. Now it is for sure, yeah. Okay, that was nicely done by Liereyy in time. And, well, that gold is so exposed. He has very little control at the moment. Oh, God. Guard tower now being rushed out. But what can he do against mass Mangonel knights there? Maybe
Just
monk
look
defense
at
could be
this.
something.
Look at this game from Leary's perspective as he gets guard tower, which is a really nice tech. If you look at his point of view, he can see a tower on the woodline on the left. He can see a tower on the woodline on the right. He can see a Mangonel push coming through the middle, harassing his gold. Like, it's just so many areas. He's being penned into this little corner, and Yo has all the freedom to move around the map.
Yeah. Important thing behind this is that Yo does not ignore the boom, right? It's very easy for him to drop his second TC, keep his eco rolling. He has 2 pawns against 1 pawn. I wouldn't mind seeing him sending a villager to the right-hand side even.
Whew, second TC now from Liereyy going up in the back. Chat is telling you to fast forward, but the wall foundation was there earlier.
Yeah.
You just didn't see it, so...
Chat is confused. All good.
Yeah. As the Knights look for an opening on the left-hand side, Lear's going to have to go wall behind this. He has more than enough time. He has more than enough time.
What does he have, Dave?
He has enough time.
Well, apparently he's very
He
distracted
doesn't
at the
have enough time.
Apparently was very distracted at the right-hand side there. And now drops a market in the back. Liereyy, look at the resources. Is he thinking about imping this?
Well, he's not going to like the fact that there's Knights in the base, and that was so easily avoidable, right? If he just looks over there. But is imp his only option at this point? Getting the Arbalest, getting that Death Ball, and pushing back across the map?
But for now, only now getting Crossbowman and Deathball will take quite some time. Magnots will have a lot of control. Mr. Yo now drops 1 TC, has a second one, and well, we'll scare those away. But Knights are back in town.
Ooh, look at the sneaky dock from Yo at the north.
Finally.
Very, very nice. And that is why Liereyy is still up in villager or economy numbers with Yo. It's because of those fishing ships. It's because of that food income that he's been able to stay into the game. If Yo takes that out, it'd be really bad for Liereyy.
And the Fire Galley was patrolling there earlier, but the Magno scared it away, and now the Magno might die.
Galley's out from Liereyy, so he can deny the second dock. He realizes that's there.
Mr. Yo should get enough Fire Galleys out, right? And Liereyy doesn't want to tag into this. There's still the question, Liereyy on the way to Imp pretty soon. Mr. Yo, massive amount of Knights that aren't doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, Liereyy could still swing this in his favor, especially if he saves all his fishing ships. It'd be very, very nice for him. He's getting the War Galley upgrade now.
Galleys won't really help too much. The villager, I think we could have seen another villager there. Could have been a lovely addition to get the second pawn up and corner Liereyy even more, who's dropping a monastery in the back. The gold isn't looking too pretty, something we didn't mention yet. Yo's controlling second and third gold of Liereyy as well.
Yeah, and Yo is on stone, so is he going to drop a castle forward?
Big dive in first. All the
Lots
knights.
of knights.
Now
look at the gates from Liereyy.
Trying to save his crossbows in between there. Nice micro, but gates should go down here. I think this is just the big committal of Mr. Yo. He wants to finish this game, slaughter so many villagers here that try to save the crossbows, and he's deep in the eco of Liereyy.
Yeah, Liereyy really doing a fantastic job creating situations where his crossbows can win that fight. And Yo's going to have to leave. He did kill quite a few villagers, but Liereyy still has that army mass, and that mass is so important because those are the units he's going to upgrade right away once he gets to Imperial Age. But like I said before, Yo was on stone, and he's dropping a castle on that gold.
That means no gold income. He can't really expand to the right-hand side. Water could be lost pretty soon as well. I'm a bit surprised that Liereyy didn't build anything there. Okay, now 2 fire ships are popping, and Knights, they will just attack the center.
Yeah, and that castle can range the gold, man. It feels like Yo is just putting on a masterclass of map control at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Over Liereyy, and Liereyy is playing super passively.
Well, he's forced into it, right? But yeah, he has shown it several times. Yo now on the way to him. And my next question is, Dave, will we see your upgrade?
Will we see Marauders coming out from that castle, letting you build the Tarkans from the stable? Obviously, Tarkan's really, really good against range units with that extra Pierce armor.
Water defended by Liereyy at the top was so desperately needed. Yo now went for pawn number 3 there as well. Where's Liereyy getting gold? I don't see it. Now he's going.
Well, Lierey's going to have to go out to the right, but look what Yo's done there. He has an outpost. He has a skirmisher waiting there, and now he's sending the knights over. Yo is just so aware of everything that's happening in this game. Everything Liereyy attempts, Yo counters it.
Liereyy didn't have a lot of vision, now sees it. One knight is coming over. Lierey's pulling some of the villagers back. Goes for more barracks. And the only chance for Liereyy was to go for Arbalest, the early attack, and get the big advantage. He will hold for quite some time, but how can he push your 40 population behind?
Oh, this is just so beautiful from Yo here. And it's a great performance from Liereyy even staying in this game, right? Like, to be in a position where you're still alive against this is super impressive from him.
Yeah. Honestly, so many people would have tapped this one out. Like
everyone.
Well, Yo would not have tapped out either. But Knights could now lose some against the Arbalest here. They're pretty low in HP.
I think Yo, if he kills like 5 or 6 Arbalists, though, he might be happy here because he's got the castle, he's got that forward pressure.
Shouldn't he kill way more? Shouldn't he kill way more?
Imperial Age.
Shouldn't he kill way more?
Yeah, he'll kill the whole thing, actually.
It's not like a lot of knights there, and Liereyy needs to micro massively, and that completely resets Lierey's Arbalest count, and that's not what he needed.
Yeah, and Trebs are out now. Liereyy teching into infantry upgrades, so we're going to see pikemen coming out, but he doesn't have enough res to even get the upgrade, and another castle from Yo at the front.
And we already see 8 Tarkans out here as well. More traps to come. Nice quick walls there, trying to save the villagers with the gold. Yo thinks better of it. He must feel the pressure as well, right? This is the game you don't want to throw. But he can't anymore because Liereyy is resigning. Mr. Yo is going into the finals of Red Bull WOLOLO.
Yeah, and there was, Zach mentioned earlier that maybe Mr. Yo had an easier time getting here, facing up against Slam, facing up against Land, but
Nothing
just
easy.
showed up today against Liereyy. Like this last game, the map awareness here, the pressure was just on point, and Liereyy was put in a situation where he was reacting the entire time, and Yo was dictating everything that he had to do.
Oh god, what a beautiful series here as well. Yo's map control in every single game was so good. Liereyy, he probably out-microed, but Yo, that took like absolute world-class macro and map awareness.
Yep, and Yo looks to be in very good form going up into the finals. Obviously, we don't know who he's going to face up against. Either player is going to be tough for him, but I think there's a possibility of Yo taking this based on the play we've seen here.
At the moment, he is looking pretty sharp, as you said, and well, Viper always said Mr. Yo's given him such a hard time. Hera, Mr. Yo, something I can't really remember. Have we ever seen
Yeah, we
it?
haven't seen it. I think we've seen it.
Wait,
Whether we've seen it.
Show match 2 weeks ago, and Yo won 4-1.
Oh, there you go. Easy. I
Yeah.
guess Yo just wins.
Yeah, Yo just wins. Okay. So actually, we only need to see the semifinals.
Oh, man. I feel bad for Liereyy, but I think he put on an excellent performance this tournament.
Yeah. Like,
Really, really good job.
not a lot of people expected him to, first of all, like, look super good against Winchester, but then to be that great against Tedo as well. That really took me by surprise.
Wow. Whew. Looking at the statistics, what does it tell you, Nilly?
Well, I just went through there. I don't really care. I'm like only excited for the second semifinal now.
Well, I get a break here, man.
Okay. You will be back
I
for
get
the
a break.
final.
You're with Tristan. I'm
Oh,
back
God.
for the final.
Oh god. Pick my poison.
Into Triple Cam, talk about semifinal number 1. So you're not about
Nearly
to
reading the production notes there. Hey guys, oh wow, what a close series, seriously, wow. That was so back and forth. It could have been Lierey's, it could have been Yo's, but I think Dave said it right. Yo showed up, he played very, very well, and I think that last game, my goodness, like you're 2-2, totally tied up, and then you play like that, getting so aggressive, taking the risks. I think that's a really impressive play.
Yeah, it was so impressive from him. Obviously, the first game was a bit questionable, but Nilly pointed it out. Once you lose the villagers on that gold, you're pretty much forced into that strategy. But to come back in game number 2, put on such an amazing performance, and game number 3, bringing Liereyy down 2-1. Liereyy almost came back, but obviously with Cross, maybe he's kicking himself for not picking a different Civ there in the Civ draft.
Well, that's what I was going to come to next, actually. I mean, in one sense, he's extremely lucky that he got Japanese. I mean, he could have had one of the 11 Civs which hasn't been picked to a tournament so far for good reason. And then on the other hand, well, you know, he maybe could have had a better choice if he had the option. Nearly, if you were Liereyy in that situation, which Civ would you perhaps prefer for that last game?
It feels like Persian could have been a good way to fight off against Hans there. Maybe Byzantines, we mentioned it earlier, right? It was picked twice on Cross, won both times if I remember correctly. So they performed really well, and they could have maybe held against all the pressure, and then not having that much gold would not have mattered that much for Liereyy as well.
Yeah, I think actually Yo had Persians as his last pick, so that wouldn't have been an option, but definitely the Byzantines could have been a good choice had he been able to actually pick them. Now,
Yeah, but
I think
that was
sorry,
pick
go
number
ahead.
7. Persians were pick number 7.
Oh,
so
so
if he
good
didn't like
pick.
random S4, he could have picked
Yeah.
Persians instead.
That's a great point, actually. I mean, I'm thinking about the draft as it was at the end, but obviously it's not all done at once, it's done in order, so that's a great point. And actually, I think Mr. Yo as well, not only did he play extremely well across the series, but he played smart. how many times was Mr. Yo keeping his strategy hidden? How many times did he build the stables behind or keep his army behind, not showing anything until he was ready to push out? That was a really, really smart play by him.
We saw it. I think we saw it in the Acropolis game. We saw it in the Wings game, which he couldn't pull out. We saw it with the camels there. It's just, he's so good at game recognition, map awareness, and making the right decisions at the right time. He doesn't necessarily have the micro skills that Liereyy has, but at the end of the day, in Age of Empires, it's nice to have that, but you don't need it if you're smart enough. If you can take those wins based on game experience, based on map knowledge, and that's how Mr. Yo gets to the finals today.
Yeah, in the interview with Liereyy yesterday, he said about playing safe and sort of, taking less risks perhaps. I kind of think that might have worked against him a little bit today because he was sort of being pushed into the corners a lot. Mr. Yo was asserting map presence wherever he could. And I think that kind of really hurt Liereyy in the long run. There were a few games there where Liereyy just didn't have the eco and he couldn't keep up, with maybe the exception of Wings, where he had this insane eco and couldn't seem to finish the game fast enough. But Mr. Yo really exerting that map presence. And I know this is something that Viper likes to do, so I think this grand final, if it's the Viper, could be extremely close. And if it's Hera, I think it's a bit more of an unknown quantity, because Mr. Yo and Hera haven't really played against each other very much in the history of this game. I think they've only met each other twice so far. So going into this second semi-final, obviously we've got Viper and Hera. What are the thoughts going into that?
Well, Viper versus Hera, that we've it's not like we haven't seen this before, We've been talking about this since even before this tournament started. I think as soon as we saw the brackets, everyone was like, uh-oh, Viper and Hera on the same side of the bracket. They're going to meet up somewhere. And sure enough, they meet up in the semifinals. Yeah. Hera's shown that he can be a threat, but I don't think he's proven yet that he's on the same level as Viper. So we'll see if he can prove that here in the semis.
Disagree. Like, NSC finals, 10-game series, the Viper winning 6-4. Like, you can't say he didn't prove himself that he's on the same level. This is like so incredibly close, right? If he picks one civilization a bit better, he could have won that final. He did win a lot of like B-tier important tournaments. Like, he is just, I would say, one lucky game away from having one of the very big series before.
It's a good point. It is a best of 5 too. So if he's going to have a shot, maybe this is it.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about luck real quick, because there were some maps in that series which we could say favored Yo. And obviously that is a part of Age of Empires. Sometimes your map generation isn't perfect and you have to react to that. So Nili, I mean, obviously from your perspective, you are playing at a high level. How much do you feel like the map influences the way you play? And do you think there is that element of luck in the generation, or is it always something that you can deal with?
Certainly. And like we had yesterday in the interview of the Viper even saying he had basically bad luck not really finding his sheep early on, and that was part of his strategy, right? We had, for example, the map we just had, one, the Acropolis, not the best wood for Liereyy. Maybe could have folded on if he had another wood line there. So it feels like if you are like 5% better than your opponent, you will never lose due to a bad map. But those players here in this tournament are so close that the tiniest of edges, the tiniest differences in civilizations, map positioning can completely turn the tide.
All right. Yeah, interesting insight there. And obviously we'll definitely looking out for that during the next series, because I think this is going to be a very exciting semi-final, a very close semi-final. So we'll be back after a short break here. We're going to get T90 in, and T90 and Nili will be casting the second semi-final. And then, of course, it will be T90 and Dave for the grand final. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes for Viper versus Hera.